Other than that, it was perfect.
Yeah, ESS, angry spouse, or ASS, angry spouse syndrome.
Yes.
Hey, there's Gordon. I didn't see you come in, bud.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, hear you perfectly. Where are you at? This is a different place than you're normally in.
This is the studio that I originally built. It's on the side of our garage.
Okay.
Mason took it over for years, and we moved to Colorado. We took it over again, and now he's living in the house, and so I've got my studio back.
Oh, nice. Mason's back from Colorado?
Yeah, he's been back for a while. Yeah, he's actually working full-time with the apartment complex, and guy that has a bunch of apartments in Belleville.
Oh, nice. I didn't know he was back.
Yep. Finally turning around, doing good.
Very cool. How's he doing? Doing well?
Yep.
Those are some fancy jammies you got there, Don.
Yes, they are.
Very sexy. If I was gay, I'd go for you in a big way, Don. Thankfully, I am not.
That's why I play remote.
I know. So you have a good weekend, Gordon?
Yeah, so far. I mean, we got 2 weeks off here, so yeah, I'm looking forward to doing all kinds of stuff.
Very cool.
I can't figure out. Oh, here we go, side to side. I had to install Zoom on this computer, and I couldn't figure out where the side to side mode is, but I found it finally.
Oh, okay.
How good. Hey, Chuck, you didn't say what you did this weekend. You do anything fun?
Not a bunch, no. Just sort of hung out.
Yeah. Did you do any bowling?
No, I've got our leagues are not going to happen for the next 2 weeks because anytime school's out, they shut down leagues.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, so they can try to make more money off of school kids coming into play.
Gotcha. Okay.
I do have a big tournament coming up 3 days after Christmas. So we'll see how that goes.
A money game?
Well, it's a tournament, yeah. So it's 10,000 for first place.
Holy shit, that's a lot of money.
Yes, it is.
You got a shot at it? I know you're pretty good.
No, it's one of those on any given Sundays, but yeah. Okay. We'll see how it goes. It's a bowling alley I'm not all that familiar with, so.
Well, good luck, man. I hope you get in there. That'll be super fun. Not me. I got to work between now and Christmas Eve, so I got to work tonight.
I have to work. I'm working tomorrow. Then we're off Tuesday, Wednesday. Then I work Thursday, Friday.
You got to go back Thursday? Holy shit.
Yeah, we get Christmas Eve and Christmas Day off, but we would have had to have taken additional time off if we wanted any more than that.
Oh man, that kind of sucks. We get the whole week between Christmas and New Year's off.
Yeah.
But I don't because I still have clients, calling me up like today, asking me for stuff. So tomorrow I've got meetings and then I've got to deliver a package to a guy in New York. But then I'm hoping to wrap that up tomorrow so I can have Christmas Eve and Christmas Day where I don't have to think too hard about anything.
I get the next 2 Wednesdays off.
The next 2 Wednesdays? That's great.
But I'm at work every other day, so. Oh,
gotcha. So Mike is gonna play, but he's late. He's gonna be a little late. Matt texted me earlier. He and the X-Man are finishing off a show that they're watching called Roadkill. He said, so I don't know what that is, but apparently it's suitable for 8-year-olds.
Or not.
So they will be.
Yeah, or not suitable, but still watching.
Yeah, who knows? Yeah, he's probably watching. Hey, let's watch some Tarantino shows.
Have any of you guys watched any of The Witcher yet?
Not, but I'm curious. Now, I've never played the video game, so it would be like I don't necessarily know what I'm missing.
I enjoyed the books a lot. It's actually a book series originally.
Yeah.
Really? Okay.
From a Eastern Russian guy or something. They're really good, I think.
Yeah.
I enjoyed them.
I watched the first 2 episodes. I'm not a huge fan of Superman or the guy who played Superman.
Cavill?
Yeah, and he's the one playing the Witcher.
No, Christopher Reeves.
No, a little younger than that.
I know.
And not dead or in a wheelchair. But yeah, he's the guy playing the Witcher. They're okay so far.
Okay.
I haven't been sucked in yet, but I figure a few more episodes I probably will be.
I'm looking forward to watching, trying them.
I got I wanted to watch Watchmen, but it's on HBO, and I canceled HBO after Game of Thrones ended. So kind of miffed about that, but I'll catch it some other time. But I want to watch the new season of The Expanse. Just dropped like a week and a half ago. So
I just finished it.
And was it good?
Yep.
As good as the first 2-3 seasons?
Pretty damn close. Yep.
Ooh, I'm stoked.
With a good
Marla,
cliffhanger at the end.
huh? Marla and I. Ooh, that means it's season 5. Marla and I are still finishing up Narcos, so we're watching Narcos, which is really sort of ramping up. So we're liking that. Marla and I love cop shows and crime shows.
I got to a point with The Expanse this year where I'm like, what else could go wrong with these people?
I know it's the Rocinante is the most bad luck ship in the whole fleet. You know,
I know.
I saw they did it. There was a thing on YouTube, and I didn't watch it, but I bookmarked it for later. It was called The History of the Rocinante, and I guess it's just like talking about the ship, which is kind of cool. Speaking of ships, we're C Team next week, so this should be interesting. It's been a couple of months. Lots of things happen. I'm going to have some. I'm going to send out some emails to a couple of different people, including you, Mr. John, about some things that are going on. So, getting ready to jump off and jump into the mix.
Now, you mentioned my alter ego last time, Gawker.
Yep.
So, I'm still going to play Gawker, but
his name's not Gawker.
Huh? His name's not Gawker.
Okay, I apologize.
He's got so upgrades and everything you're supposed to get.
Yep.
You know, I can change my appearance and eye color and everything.
Oh yeah.
So when I go to a casino, I look completely different, and people think there's Gawker there.
Okay. I like it.
Gawker is the persona that's a little bit on the other side of law. So.
Gee, really?
Yeah.
A character you're playing, somewhat on the edge between,
I don't get
righteous and unlawful. It's crazy talk. So that's cool. I'm interested. So I'm putting together. I've been actually. It's funny you should mention that because I'm looking at several rules for gambling in game. Because usually when you gamble in game and you actually try and role play it out, it's a huge pain in the ass. But right. I found a really nice streamlined set of rules that essentially is a skill check. And you roll. I mean, it's make 2 skill check rolls, and on the basis of those 2 rolls, you determine and then you decide your wager. You roll the 2 skill checks, and it determines whether or not you won, lost, and how much.
Right.
It's actually quite streamlined, and it doesn't hog up everything that you.
Cool.
So, yeah, I'm actually pretty pleased all around.
And it takes into account that I actually have some training in gambling, right?
Yeah, it does because it's a skill check essentially. So
right.
I think it's a nice little elegant system.
Cool.
So I don't know if I told you guys this the other day, the last time we talked, but for Black Friday, I managed to acquire. I don't know if I told you guys that I was interested in the Monty Cook game called Invisible Sun. Have you guys heard anything about that? I know, Don, you've heard me talk about it. Have you guys heard about that game?
Heard about it, yeah.
I haven't,
they had a huge Kickstarter in the last summer or last spring, and to get into the Kickstarter for the game itself was like $250, and there was no way that I could justify that. But I thought, you know what, but it was an intriguing idea, so I figured, you know what, I'll snap up some PDFs as they come available, various customers. But even the PDFs, the full system PDF was like $100 for PDFs. So I just couldn't justify paying $100 for PDFs. I mean, I spend a lot on game stuff, but it's just like it was too much. Black Friday, they had a deal, all the PDFs for $20. I sucked that shit up like I was a Hoover vacuum.
Yeah.
And I've been reading through it. It is so cool, but it is a very weird game. But I'm thinking I might be able to incorporate some of it into our Strange Aeons game. So when that gets started.
Look at some of Monty Cook's old stuff, and it's really weird. His games are weird to me. I don't know. They don't seem playable almost.
So I mean, you're talking about like Cipher Systems, the rule set and stuff like that?
Well, yeah, and it's been 20 years since I've looked at anything he did. But like the first few games he came out with, I looked at, and to me, I remember them just as being weird.
So Cipher System is a little weird, but because it's different from D&D, but it's designed. So I've got and I'll share with you if you don't have it. I have the Cipher System rulebook, which I can share with you.
I think I've got it actually.
You got it? Okay. I think it's a pretty good rule set. It very much moves away from the idea of so a couple of things. Monty Cook stuff. One of the thing is that magic is very much privileged over martial abilities. So like in Invisible Sun, every character is some sort of magic user, which is weird. Now they can be fighters too, but you don't have there's no characters which are like pure fighters. They're all magic users of some kind. And there's a couple of different kinds, and some of them are really cool. But he very much privileges magic over martial in his games. The other thing that he does, which is different, is the way they set up characters. They have it. They call it the sentence. And the way Monty Cook's games are set up is that you are, and it's usually I'm a noun I'm an adjective, noun, who verbs is the way they describe it. So the way you describe your character is I am a brilliant fighter who controls the wind, that kind of thing. And that's sort of how these characters sort of like get into the thing. And there's a lot more fluidity in Monty Cook's magical system than in like regular D&D or Pathfinder, where it's like, you have your list of spells and you kind of go through it. There's some of that, but there's a lot of ability to role play. For example, if you're playing Numenera, which is another Cypher system game, Monty Cook game, and you are a fire mage, one of the spells is just like control fire. And it's basically like you can control mundane fires in ways that, in whatever way you basically choose. So essentially you can cast this spell and you can do a wide variety of things. You can light your pipe with a thumb, or you can throw a flaming log from a campfire at somebody and have the flames like sort of thing, or you can create a small homunculus out of fire that walks over and grabs, and sets something on fire. There's a lot of different things that you can do within the confines of a specific spell, as opposed to Pathfinder spells where you're just like, the spell does this and this and this, and it's very rule constricted.
Right.
There's a lot more emphasis on role play, and it gives there's a lot of emphasis on player agency too, which I kind of like.
Hey, let's go ahead and finish this module before Mike gets here.
All right, sounds good. All right, so last time I sent off a quick email. You guys saw that last time. Basically what happened was you guys were down in this sort of like lava cavern underneath this very rustic, very modest temple to Erastil. Upstairs, you guys will remember that the Erastil temple had been sort of defiled a little bit. There was blood. The statue of Erastil had been broken. You guys went into what you believe to be this priest Jesker Helton's quarters, even more modest than the temple. But then you found like a little trapdoor that went down into this cavern. Inside the cavern, you found something very interesting. So it's a lava-lit cavern. You found it looked like Jesker had been living down here, sort of eking out a very meager existence. But very quickly you realize that this guy had been... he had been suffering from, on one hand, what could only be described as a certain level of madness. And on the other hand, as you realize pretty quickly, he had been taken over is a weird word, like blended with some sort of demon who was like, could go in and out of his body and sort of blend with him and sort of take him over and control him and that kind of stuff. It was a very sort of weird thing, but you managed to separate the two.
Yeah, there was a certain level of dominance.
Yeah, there was absolutely, that she was taking him over.
We separated them with extreme prejudice.
Hey, there's Matt. Hey, buddy. So we're just recapping real quick. So I believe it was Fletcher accidentally killed Jesker while trying to subdue him, drove the demon out of him. And subsequently, I think it was Flashheart who actually killed the demon and sent her back to the abyssal plane. But Lothar had attempted to sort of bring back Jesker. He'd done a burst of healing energy. He had tried, what's the spell that brings him back after one round? Breath of Life. Nothing seemed to work. So it seemed like, there was a bit of a downfall there. That, you tried to save this guy from this creature, and although the operation was successful, but the patient died. So after that, Fletcher and everybody sort of helped Lothar sort of cross over the lava streams. Lothar, not what you would call hugely acrobatic or agile, so they helped him over and got over the cross the lava streams to go take a look at this crystalline casket that Fletcher was able to wrench out of the side of the wall and bring over onto the ground. Trying to look through it. I think the last thing that we did was Lothar cast light above the casket, this crystalline coffin of sorts, to try and see through the translucent crystal, see what was inside. Is that more or less what you guys remember?
Yeah.
What was the part where you gave us 2 more levels of experience? Do you remember that part?
I cannot remember that part. I've checked my notes and I
You were
don't
a
see
little
anything in
sleepy.
there. So it was like I was a little sleepy. I had to get up real early, but yeah, I can't find it, so I can't really do that at this point.
All right.
All right, so you've got this light. So I'm assuming that you guys are going over there by this casket. That's this thing over here. Is that
Yeah,
the case?
Lothar, this was supposed to be the tomb of someone important, right?
Yes.
So this was you want to go ahead and
yeah,
talk
this
about
is
it,
the tomb of Delamere.
Okay, is that who this is?
Well,
Are we at Delamere's tomb?
I would have gone over there to assist when I could, but after the email that you sent me, I would leave that to them and go back over and address the remains of Jesper or Helton or whatever his name is.
Jesker Helton, yeah. So what are you going to do?
I'm going to cast Bless.
Okay. Over
And
the
then-
corpse?
Yes. And then once that's done, I'm going to cast Gentle Repose.
Okay. All right. These things you do see. So Jesker Helton's body was sort of like, it was a little bit torn. It's obviously beat up. When you cast Bless, it's almost like it visibly relaxes. And Gentle Repose, you see it basically, it's just sitting there. It's almost as if he looks like he's in a peaceful sleep. He's obviously still dead. But it
We're
does
used
look
to
like
this weekend at Bernie
sleeping.
stuff. After
Mostly dead.
yeah.
No,
We
he's
did that.
still pretty dead, but Gentle Repose basically keeps him fresh. That's what I love about Gentle Repose. All right,
And
excellent.
so that's what I'll be doing for 2 rounds.
Okay,
While,
what about the
while they're
rest of you
checking out
guys?
the rest of it.
So we're not in combat. So if there's something that you guys want to do now, Gatto, you're standing over there by the thing.
Right.
What are you doing?
So I've examined this thing. There's no latch, lock, trap, no
It's
opening that I've been able to find.
It's completely seamless, as far as you can tell.
Crystal, and when we struck it with all our might, it was just barely scratched. So I'm not going to do any damage to this thing.
An enraged Fletcher brought that hammer down as hard as he could, and I believe critted the dang thing.
Right.
And the only thing that you can tell that he did was there is a very small sort of chip out of the crystal on the very top of this thing. So as hard as he hit it, it did damage it, but beyond that, it certainly didn't crack it open or shatter anything. This thing is hard.
They're going to be here a while looking at things, so I'm going to jump over here, and I'm just going to start examining all the walls. And looking for secret compartments if there's any secret cache or anything like that.
Okay, so you're gonna do some secret doors. So give me a couple of perception checks when you get a moment. How about you, Bardos? Now you were paralyzed for a little while there, but you're better now. Baru is with you, and you were blinded as well, but that's also gone away. So you're feeling back to normal and back on your feet. What do you do?
I'm just going to stand around, I guess, until we figure out. I'm going to hang out with Lothar, I guess, and because he's the one who wanted to be here and knows what he wants to do. So I'll help him if I can. All
right, sounds good. Flashheart. Now you have de-enlarged. You're in your normal size now. Obviously, radiance. The power of radiance still compels you, but the demon is gone, and you see Lothar sort of tending to the body of the dead priest. What do you do?
Yeah, I mean, since the priest is already dead and I don't have the ability to bring him back in the moment, if there's nothing for me to do combat-wise right at the moment, I'm going to pray to Amadei to look for guidance. If there's something we missed here, I feel like we did the best we could given what we had to work with.
Okay. Give me whatever is better, your knowledge religion or your charisma check. And give me a roll when you get a moment. All right, so Don, you're sort of looking around in that area. You don't see any traps or anything. You certainly don't see anything that looks like a hidden cache or a trapdoor or anything. As far as you can tell, it's just a raw cavern down here. You do see what looks to be, the evidence that you think that dude was pretty much living down here.
Right.
So every once in a while you'll see, frankly, in the back there, you see evidence of excretation.
Yep.
You also see,
Couldn't show that into the lava?
he did not, but he's crazy, so that kind there was, there's evidence of that, evidence of bird bones and lizard bones, probably stuff that he'd eaten and thrown away. It doesn't look like he had thrown a lot in the lava. You're not sure if that's purposeful or he just was too nuts to even consider the lava to be a nice garbage disposal thing. I don't know that you could potentially squat over the lava without singeing your butthole quite a bit, so I don't know that would work. But yeah, I mean, you can maybe throw it in afterwards, but I don't know. You didn't.
I already declared him crazy when I discovered a campfire right next to lava. You just cook your food right there, right?
Well, right, yeah, he didn't. I mean, he didn't do any of that kind of stuff. So I
don't know. Roll by the way.
Okay,
25.
so you rolled a 25. So you get the feeling that, for one, this place is a place of a different god. In this case, you're pretty sure it's Erastil.
Right.
Erastil is an old god, and Iomedae, as you well know, is sort of a new god after the death of
Eridan.
Eridan. Iomedae was Eridan's herald, and Eridan didn't die that long ago. So Iomedae is kind of a new god. This is an old place, the place of an old god, and it's a little. I mean, to you as sort of an Iomedaean, this is a little freaky. There's there's a certain sense of, when you deal with the old gods, there's that certain strangeness about them, that weird sense of, and especially with Erastil, that weird sense of sort of the power of the earth. Whereas Iomedae's power is the power of the sun, the power of light, the power of combat. She's a warrior goddess. Erastil is very much a god of the earth, a god of the hunt. And there's a certain wildness to it, and the vibe you get from in here is sort of like that, and it's a little bit disconcerting. I mean, you don't feel like you're in danger from anybody, but it's definitely a place consecrated to a different god, and one that is a little bit alien to you, and it makes you a little uncomfortable.
I don't feel any guidance or anything from Iomedae. I just get the willies.
No, nothing like that. I mean, Iomedae's not the kind of god that talks directly to her worshippers, even good ones like you. But I mean, other than that, you kind of get you can just get a weird feeling down here. It's an alien place. This deep place in the earth. Of Erastil. It's definitely a place of Erastil.
Okay.
Lothar, you've cast Bless, you've cast Gentle Repose. As far as you can tell, the body of Jessica Helton is in repose. It is not rotting. It's not decomposing any more than it. I mean, it hasn't had an opportunity to decompose.
Right.
It's still really fresh, but it is preserved. But it's still a body. I mean, there's the idea of if you're going to take it out of here, there's things to be done.
All right. Well, this area here, that appears to be his bed, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very
So-
rudimentary bedroll. And some chicken bones and stuff like that nearby.
So I'm thinking more put him in his bed and wrap him
Okay.
up in the bedroll. He's protected for the next 9 days.
Okay.
So
You think maybe leave him here? Leave the body here and then come back when you guys are done with the Ivory Temple?
well, at this point we have bigger fish to fry than the Ivory Temple.
Well, that's a good point. I mean, so you've got a couple of different things going on. Ilandar's return. Obviously, you guys are now for lack of a better term, you guys are officially quested to do this thing.
In the Underdark.
For Iomade and the Underdark. So that's one thing. You also have, as Bardos would point out, I mean, you do have to get revenge on this Xanthor Vang guy who's been trucking around these Niadrian crystals. I mean, this is what Galfrey wanted. You suspect that he may even be watching you guys as you come. So, I mean, how long do you let that go? I mean, it's a matter of priorities, right? What do you guys want to do next?
Right. And I'll let everybody know at this point, we need to rescue the spirit or rescue the soul of this priest. And based on the casting of the spell that will keep his body fresh, we have 9 days.
Okay. Where do we think it is?
I know where it is. It is in a place called Alushinura. I don't know how to pronounce that, but if you want to give it a shot, Les.
Can you drop us the map for a second?
Alushinura.
Hold on a second. I'll have it for you in just a moment.
Can you drop us the world map?
Alushinira.
Alushinira.
Alushinira. Gato? That's a word you've heard before. Do you know where?
Was it when I was captive?
No.
Oh,
I'm sending you a message.
Describe that place to me.
I can't describe it to you. I only know the name of it.
You don't know where it is or anything?
Well, not yet, but I haven't sort of pondered that. But
Did he send you a text on or an IM?
That's where the spirit of this priest is being held captive. And I need to free him from that captivity and destroy his captor.
So you think the captor is the same creature that Flashheart sent back to the Abyss?
Yes, it's the demon.
Yeah, it's that same demon. Did you get that? Okay, you did. Good.
Yeah, I thought so.
Okay, all right. I just want to make sure. Yeah, you've heard that name before. So do you?
But I don't tell them.
Okay, perfect.
And so as far as I'm concerned, is it a knowledge planes, knowledge religion? What is it to try and to know or ponder on what I know about?
Knowledge planes would be the best bet. And anybody who else has knowledge planes.
Jesus.
Yeah, you've never heard of this before.
Yeah, despite the fact that I'm plus 13 in knowledge planes, I've never heard of it. Completely foreign.
You were out that day.
So, Bardos, is that a knowledge planes?
Planes 26, religion 30.
Okay. 26, the name rings a bell. But even then, I mean, you're like, man, I know I've heard that name somewhere before, but you can't put your finger on it. I mean, it feels like maybe a place name. You're not sure. It's not a person, you don't think. It's a place.
Okay,
You're not sure where. Matt, you got any knowledge planes?
Yes, you want to do some?
Yeah, if you want. Yeah, give it a shot.
I didn't want to have to do this, but let me drop some knowledge on y'all. All right, what do we got? It's pretty lame compared to yours, but let's see. Actually, fun fact that there are, I can't think of a good knowledge plane thing to say, but there you go.
13, yeah, you've never heard of this place.
What about Bardos and Farino with that 30?
That's knowledge religion. No, it's not there.
Okay. Maybe Bardos has a fever or something, and not really.
I don't know. So
Lothar.
Hold
well,
on.
Lothar says, "Look, I know where he's at. He's in the city of Alushanira." But he's like, I've never heard of this place before, and I don't know.
Just out of curiosity, is it on a map, Lothar, or where do you hear this name before?
You won't find it on a map. It's on another plane.
And
we're not going to be welcome there at all.
well,
I think everybody's sort of like looking at Gato going, "Oh, really?"
Refresh me, Gato. How do we get to another plane from here?
How we get there, I don't know.
With the exception of
that name is the name of a city. That name is the name of a city in the abyss.
Can we get to the abyss from the Underdark? Make it a twofer?
You can get to the abyss from anywhere if you have plane shift, or if you can find someone who will take you there.
But keep in mind, locating this place, with a plane shift,
right.
Well,
the abyss is 666 layers.
Bardos, is it possible to modify Storm to plane shift with somebody with him? Because he goes back to his own plane each day, right?
I've never heard of anything like that.
No, it's a different. Yeah, it's not like like Storm goes back to the abyss. He goes back to a plane that exists solely as the purview of summoners, which is a very weird thing. But I'm not sure where Storm originally comes from, but it's not this place.
Well, and here's the thing: with an overnight and the ability to pray, I can plane shift all of us.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
It's just a matter of knowing where I'm going, which I don't.
So how would we corner the knowledge? I can go pester the what's his name, the scary voice guy, and back at Castle Drazen. What was he called?
The Solar?
No, I don't.
You can only summon him once a month.
Right.
Oh, I know, but yeah, we got plenty of things to do. We're hanging around here.
The last time you summoned him, you brought back Illindar, but you got a huge quest handed to you at the same time.
And look how good has it done us. No Illindar today.
This guy is not exactly just handing out goodies every 2 seconds.
He's not exactly our friend.
No, he did. He brought back Illindar. We're square as far as I'm concerned right now.
So
maybe the Magic Brain would be able to help us if we could somehow defeat him.
Who?
The what's his name was the guy that's full of maggots?
The guy that had you for captive? Xanthor Vang, or at least he called himself Xanthor Vang.
Maggot face.
When you guys were talking about this back in Dresden, the Xanthor Vang from history has been dead for nearly 40 years, according to what people know. But this guy, Bardos, the guy who had you captive, referred to himself as Xanthor Vang.
Right. And he's definitely got connections in this area. So might be able to tell us where to go, maybe.
In.
He's a smart guy, too. We might even be able to barter with him somehow.
Well, we need to go somewhere where we can look up more information about this city, where it's located, the politics of it.
Yeah. Again, Xanthor Vang is I think a scientist and a researcher. He might very well have information where he's at. Maybe. Drazen, I think, was pretty much, there's nothing there, Les, right, as far as history or libraries or anything like that.
There is some libraries there that were preserved. It depends on what you're looking for. It's not a huge library. But you remember that you were working on some things. You were able to do scrolls and stuff like that. There is some stuff.
It wasn't really. Drazen was before, wasn't it, or was it established during the World Wound? Or was it there before?
It was before the World Wound. It was a dwarven city in the style. It was a dwarven fortress city in the style of the seven cities of the Southwest. But it was taken by treachery about, I want to say, 75 years ago, something like that.
So that's not going to be a very good resource, probably. I mean, it's possible, I guess. But. How are you getting this information, Lothar, to know what happened to this guy?
It was just made known to me.
Hmm.
And I'm trying to see if there's any priestly magic that lets you sort of figure out or find out that kind of stuff, but this thing doesn't have spells
it could be some
listed.
sort of like divination spells. I mean, like asking the gods.
Some sort of divination commune.
Right.
With his body, can you divine where his soul is? I mean, is that a...
Well, that's what I'm looking for, is those kind of spells. But this site doesn't make it, well, not that I've seen, doesn't make it so that you can search them by type. You can search by cleric, but I don't see where you can search by divination or search by what have you to try and find.
You can't.
You can or you can't?
Cannot.
Okay, so if any of you know from past experience any cleric spells up to 5th level that I would be able to use to try and determine whatever we would need to be able to get to someplace with a plane shift, then I can do that. But
well, there used to be that spells by class.
Well, yeah, they're cleric oracle.
Oh, I'm looking at the wrong thing.
But there's no way
spell sheet though.
There's no way that I've seen to be able to isolate divination from any other school, that kind of thing, to try and figure out what sort of level spells there would be to get answers. I know from the priest I played in the first one, there's some commune with
here it is. Spell list filters. Cleric Oracle spell list filter. Here, I'm going to send you a thing. Let me see if this works. It uses TTPS, so it might fuck this up. But
I think I found it. Hang on.
You got it?
Okay, so commune answers yes or no questions. That's 5th level.
Yeah. This filter doesn't do by school.
No, it doesn't do it either.
That's a bite in the ass.
So, I'm trying to remember what the name of it was. There's something along the lines of, I don't think it was called commune, but it was the ability to get answers from your ancestors.
Here we go. Descriptor.
It was basically like a high-level augury, but they answered. Here it is: ancestral communion.
What does that do?
You contact the spirits of your ancestors and use their great wisdom to bolster your own knowledge. Consulting with the spirits is a full round action. If you consult with the spirits before making a knowledge check, you gain +4 insight bonus on the check. If you've already failed a knowledge check, you may consult with your ancestors and make another attempt. The insight bonus on these checks increases to +6 at caster level 7, +8 at caster level 11. You may consult with the spirits for this purpose as often as you like while the spell remains in effect. Only you can hear the spirit speak to you. So it's a 2nd level cleric spell. I'd obviously have to wait until tomorrow or wait until a rest period to get it. It lasts for a minute per level, and I can ask them any number of questions, and I'll get a +6 on any knowledge check. So asking them where this place is, what this place is, that kind of thing, it would be at a knowledge planes +6. Asking how to get there, etc., that kind of thing would all be some knowledge check +6.
Okay. All right. Is that something you want to do?
Well, I figured other people might want to do some stuff at least in preparation, because these are things that I wouldn't be able to do until we had rested anyway. Because I need the spell.
I have an interesting option. I don't know if you'd want to do it.
What's that?
Could you or would you be willing to summon a demon? They are chaotic evil,
No.
native to Abyss.
Not me. I won't be summoning any demons. Sorry.
If Flashheart's here during this, he'll be he will be not too happy to hear about something he had.
No,
Well,
when
I'm
our
not
summoner
saying
shows,
friend
when
or
our
anything like that. I'm just giving options here.
well, and when our summoner shows up, who's going to
Wait,
be
Wait, is
right?
this a backdoor way to bring Mud back to the campaign, Don?
Yes.
Chaotic evil demon from the abyss.
Mub walks the hells, not the
Yeah,
not the
Mud's
abyss.
hell, buddy.
My bad.
So no, if Ilindar
He
can
skipped the lemur stage.
if Ilindar can summon and trap a demon and ask it questions, and I mean, as far as the priest is concerned, that's not an option because then you're entreating with demons. But
even that though, I mean, if you summon a low level, I mean, you can only summon like what are those fat things that are annoying?
The Dretch.
Well,
Yeah. Can you
at
summon
this
anything?
level, you can summon a Babau. Babau.
Again, I mean, there's 900 planes or something like that, and
666.
that's right. Yeah. Yes, that's a lot of real estate.
It's a lot of real estate.
This city is on one of them.
yeah,
Is it a big, well-known city? I mean, if you know about it, then it's probably.
It is a well-known city for trade between the Abyss and other planes. Being a merchant caravan guard, I know of this.
So it reminds you of Bard's Gate, which is a similar place on the border between the Abyss and other planes. Bard's Gate is one of these like sort of cross-border cities. So the thing about the Abyss is because it's so large, there are a lot of ways that enterprising people and creatures can make money. And part of that is trade. So there are these there's these points between the Abyss and the astral plane that are studded with these not little, frankly, these trade towns where the productive capacity of 666 planes of Abyss is brought to bear and filters into the astral plane. Bard's Gate is a very famous one. It sounds like this other city, this Alushanira, is another one of these trade cities that is on the edge of the Abyss and other planes, and that the productive capacity of certain levels of the Abyss is brought to bear and filters out into the astral plane.
So that shouldn't be too hard to find then, right, Les? I mean, anybody who has knowledge of the planes, a major city of trade shouldn't be that hard to find, I wouldn't think.
It depends. I mean, Bard's Gate is a place that a lot of people have heard of. This place, maybe not so much. I mean, there's all different kinds of trade. And, I mean, you come from I mean, if you think about Bardos, he comes from a very sort of like rural background. Although he's big in books, he may not be familiar with some of the more esoteric aspects of the planes. And this would be something that would be definitely an esoteric aspect of the planes. Alushanira would not be a city that would be as well known as Bard's Gate.
Right.
But we could probably go to Bard's Gate and maybe ask somebody there, and they would know, right?
Theoretically, yeah, absolutely.
Where would be a good library or source to research it?
That's what I was wondering too.
Probably. I mean, Dresden has a library, but I mean, it's limited because it's been in enemy hands for so long. I mean, theoretically, I mean, all right, let's do this real quick.
Let's start at Dresden.
Dresden.
Go to the World Wound real quick here. Let's see what the region looks like. Okay, how come nobody can see the region? Can you guys see the map? Or is it all black?
It's all black right now.
it's all black.
All right, hold on a second.
The lights are growing dim, man.
Last time I
That
had
fog of war on?
Yeah, I do. I'm taking it off. Okay, let's
Beginning of darkness. And let's
see if that. You do a quick refresh on your browsers and see if that helps a little.
No.
No, still.
Hold on.
There we go.
Yeah.
I can see. That work?
Yep.
You can see the map now?
Yeah. Yep.
All right. So you guys, so if we look at the map of the world wound and the region around it, so you guys started on Canebras. All right. You've gone to Dresden, and you're actually not that quite far from Dresden. So theoretically, you're right about here. Okay. So honestly, Canebras probably has some library material, but like Dresden, it would have been a lot of it would have been destroyed. I mean, you guys remember when you guys were still back in Canebras, you guys stumbled upon a guy and a demon who were actively destroying books. So, I mean, you guys would have stopped that, but honestly, you don't know how far they would have gotten. Frankly, probably the biggest library would be Narrowsin in Numeria, or better yet, Starfall. Starfall is going to have a great library right here. But
oh, there it is.
It's right there. But, I mean, are you going to want to go that far?
Right.
Are you going to want to bail out? I mean, you've got a couple of like pressing issues, right? You've got this Xanthor guy who's on your doorstep. You've got Jesker Helton, who is, he's got 9 days to sort of like keep his shit together.
Do you think the White Ivory Tower Knights might have some library books? Maybe we can go check out.
They might. Bardos, you would remember that Xanthor had a pretty significant library. The guy's a scholar.
Yeah,
that was the point you were making before.
Yeah. I mean, that guy's gonna have information there, but I mean, we might be able to defeat, if we can defeat him, but have him still alive. I think the guy's smart enough. I mean, he's obviously stuck around this long. He's got an interest in living. He probably would be somebody that we could use a little to a degree. I mean, he's obviously not trustworthy, but he's somebody with a lot of knowledge.
I don't know. What do you guys think?
I'm good with that.
And how far is the Ivory Labyrinth from where we are?
That's a great question. Hold everything.
Because we got to finish that anyway.
Yeah.
All right. So can you see the map here?
Yep.
All right. You guys are at Delamere's right here. Ivory Sanctum. Everything that Arushale told you seems to indicate that the Ivory Sanctum is about, what is this? Probably three and a half days from Delamere's tomb to the west southwest. You got a pretty good line on where it is, though.
Go there, complete our task there, search their library. That way we're being productive and going someplace where we think we can get more information.
Yeah.
What do you think?
And the distance there, if we're successful, means even if we don't find what we need, I can get back here to do gentle repose again.
Right.
So you're thinking about leaving Jesker here, going to the Ivory Sanctum, seeing what they have, trying to defeat that. You can still, I mean, it's three and a half days there. Assume to get there and back will be 7 days. That's still an extra 2 days that you could spend on site investigating, and you would still have gentle repose affecting Jester. He wouldn't, and even after gentle repose goes away, I mean, he won't immediately.
It's only 1 day,
right?
a day.
Exactly.
Yeah, he won't, become a skeleton overnight. I mean, he'll just start to decompose.
Right.
He'll
So
blow
is
up.
your intent to eventually raise him?
Well, I don't have much of a choice.
Can't we just leave him in this lava cave where he dries out like beef jerky?
No.
I'm gonna get a fresh drink. You guys talk this out.
Okay, you don't have a choice. You need to raise him, right?
Right. Well, and not necessarily raise him. Okay, here's the thing. While we were going through the last stuff, in my head, from a voice that I understand to be important, not necessarily my deity, but at the very least, one of his voices,
Okay.
said that Helton has to make amends and be purified for what he's done, and I'm responsible for him. His spirit's gone to a place called Alishanira, where he serves his mistress even more completely now. You must find him and bring him back from her keeping. His mistress' name is, and I have the demon's true name, which allows me power over her if it comes to that.
When we confront her.
Yeah, but we need to destroy her completely. And then the other part of that is the mentor that I was traveling with is also being held in the same place. So it's sort of the 2 bird 1 stone thing. I was told specifically to bless his body and take measures to keep it safe.
Okay.
So the only other thing I'm going to do is go up and pray at Delamere's, I guess, sarcophagus to see if there's any benefit to that. But I figured we'd talk this out before I got that far.
Okay.
We're pretty sure this crystal thing, that's Delamere's tomb? Is that what we decided?
Yeah.
I'm assuming that's Delamere's sarcophagus. And this whole area, the underground cavern is Delamere's tomb, which is what originally Helton was protecting before he got sort of usurped
Dominated
by this demon thing. Yeah. So he went crazy and he became evil, but it was all due to the taint of this demon. And so the whole idea is he needs to sort of be saved from that.
Right. So an atonement spell might also be necessary at some point.
It's quite possible, but I haven't even looked at that. I don't know what level that is.
Okay.
I think it's 5 or 4.
But saving his soul from the demon that has him is like the first thing that has to happen. Any spells after that to get him where he needs to be, fine.
Atonement couldn't hurt. I mean, well, I'm looking at it here.
Atonement 5th level. It'd be good for a good measure type thing after we get him all the way back.
Right.
Or to placate the locals.
Well, okay.
You could do 5th level spells, right?
Right.
Yeah. I can do atonement if I have a day to rest and cast it, because it's not on my current spell list.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Well, why don't we go upstairs and search around the area if there's anything. Stay here the night. Tomorrow.
Tomorrow what?
You faded out there, Don.
Yeah, you kind of took kind of a dump there.
Don just kind of froze up on me.
Yeah, I'm looking at his picture. Something happened to Don.
He was summoned off this plane back to the hills.
So I feel bad about this tomb. I feel like we desecrated it. I had no idea that was part of the demon.
Oh yeah.
I think between us and the cleric and a paladin, we can reconsecrate if needed, right? Even if I'm not of this religion.
Yeah, I mean, between a paladin and a cleric, especially Lothar. You guys are talking about going like upstairs into the temple, kind of thing.
Well, yeah, you reconsecrating the temple, but like if we defile this tomb accidentally in our zeal to figure out what's going wrong down here, we can. And to what Gordon was just saying, we can fix up.
You don't get the impression that you've defiled something down here. I mean, it's more of like it was previously defiled, and you guys are helping. I mean, that demon was probably the instigator behind what had happened upstairs. I mean, there was some defilement upstairs in the temple, but I mean, even Lothar would tell you that the temple upstairs is a modest temple. The only thing that really bothered him significantly was the fact that the statue of Erastil had been shattered. But other than that, it was like it was a very modest and rudimentary temple to begin with.
I would say that after this is like the 6th or 7th one at least that we come through this campaign of defiled temple type things. I think we're old hat.
It's the world wound, man.
Yeah, but we know how to fix it up if we need to.
Yeah.
And just as a side note, atonement, the target has to be a living creature. So there's no purpose to atone this priest until he's living again.
Okay.
Good point. All right, that makes sense.
Or at least from what I can see, there's no benefit until he's living again.
Should we nail this thing into the wall again, or I feel like it's going to wash away the wall now.
I don't think we have super glue.
So we've got the priest back in his bed, right?
Yep.
Okay.
He looks resting peacefully.
Well, let's head out.
And I'm going to go over here and pray over what I assume is the sarcophagus.
Okay.
And basically the prayer being, I understand my mission and I will do my best.
Give me a perception check.
30.
30. All right. So you kneel down next to the sarcophagus and you're praying to Erastil, and you're like, I know my duty. Hey, there's Mike.
Hey, what's up?
And you hear, yeah, I mean, so you're like, I know my duty. I will do as you say. I will do as you order. And your eyes are closed, and then you open your eyes, and there seems to be. At first, you're not even sure that this is real because you've looked over this sarcophagus, this coffin, but there seems to be almost imperceptibly a seam along the edge of the coffin that you don't think was there before.
Okay. Well, I'll investigate that, I suppose.
All right.
I'm not
in
a
what
thief.
sense? How do you?
Well, run my finger along it. I'm not a thief, so I don't have skills to try and pick it. Just
There does seem to be. I mean, you can. At first, you'd think like I'm imagining things because it was completely a single piece. But as you run your finger over it, yeah, you do feel like there is there's like a seam there, and you could feel it.
If only we had a rope.
Yes, I'm going to call to Gatto.
Oh, Gatto. Gone back.
Gatto, are you back? You'll hear your name ringing out through the cavern. Gatto!
What?
Where the fuck is that elf?
There's a seam right here.
No, there's not. It's completely seamless. I looked. There's no holes. There's no.
Look again.
Okay, but it's a waste of time.
Perception check. Yeah, there's a seam.
That was not there before.
It was definitely not there before.
You want to see if I can open it?
I just think he missed it the first time.
And Eleanor's like the drow's like,
not there.
he's just an idiot. You should have seen it before. All right, so Gatto, you sort of like look around this thing. You take out like a dagger. You kind of like wedge it in there, and I mean you can't get it in there. So finally, you just start getting more and more frustrated. You sort of like throw your shoulder against it, like, and it does kind of like scooch a little bit. It's still like you think it's on like some sort of maybe pins or something like that. But it does look like a lid, and it does move a little bit. I mean, you think
several of us have to surround it and lift up at the same time.
It's so heavy. You're thinking, man, this thing probably weighs 800 pounds, maybe 600 pounds. You're not sure. It's a huge piece of crystal.
Let Storm do it.
So does it slide?
It does not slide.
Okay.
It's like it's on pins.
Gotcha.
How much you say this thing weighs?
800 pounds.
Okay. At this size, that's like a tenth of what Storm could lift.
Can we like wedge daggers into it?
You could try. I mean, honestly, if you were to do daggers, you would have to like hammer them in. This seam is infinitesimal.
Don't we have a dwarf in the party too?
What I'm trying to figure out is if there's some way we can wedge things into it to tie ropes that go up the loop, and then Storm can grab that and lift up. You know what I mean? Because, yeah, Storm's strong enough, but I don't think he's agile enough to...
There's no room for him to fly. I mean, it's on the
well, no, he would just grab it. With,
ceilings here are less than 15 feet high.
No, right, she wouldn't fly. She would just reach down with either her claws or her teeth and just
lift up.
Lift up.
She wouldn't fly.
Just a little sort of like reach in and peel it back?
Well, no. If we could rig up some ropes that's centered on it about 3 feet off the thing, she could come in and grab it and just lift her head.
Oh, like sort of like a neck in there, and just like okay, like a yoke.
Yes.
Okay.
So Storm is now the Brontosaurus from Fred Flintstone.
Okay,
Exactly.
right now with her size, and actually this is just large. This isn't. She's huge right now.
Not, Mike.
Her large size, she can lift 6,000 pounds off the ground.
It's not huge anymore, though. That's long gone. It's been minutes since.
Okay,
Still, even at
but
large.
still, in her large size, she can lift 6,000 pounds off the ground.
So see if she can get a grip on the seam with her talons.
If she's that large, we should. just put a
It's
thermometer on her
it's
so we can
incredibly
put it
hard.
in.
Her talons are huge. So
Right,
I mean,
you have to lift straight up, and you can't. She can't do that.
yeah, she can't get her claws in there. There's no
Okay.
way.
Okay,
I mean, her claws just like
go right across it.
It's so smooth. It's yeah.
So yeah, if we can rig up something that can put a handle on it, then yeah, she can easily lift it up.
And what was your plan, Don? I mean, what was Gatto's plan?
If we could wedge
Some
some
daggers
daggers
under there.
all around, okay,
Mhm.
and then you tie a dagger to this side and over to the opposite side. There's enough slack so it comes up about 3 feet above, and you do that several times from different points, so that
She can
you're
just grab the
lifting
ropes in the middle and then just
straight
lift.
up.
Now the daggers will eventually come out, but hopefully this thing will be moved over far enough that
Right.
then at that point she can just reach in and claw thrust.
Well, you
it.
guys have to be ready to sort of like swing the thing out.
Or
You know, when those-
yeah, we
when
have to
those
be ready
daggers
to
come up, you got to get it off of the top of it. Yeah.
push it away and stuff. Right.
All right. So, do you guys have enough daggers? Who's got daggers that they're going to willing to contribute to this?
I have one.
Because it will almost certainly destroy the daggers.
Can't you just take 20 down with Gatto and just do disable device with a take 20?
It's not. I'm not disabling it. I've
It's not
already
a trap.
figured out how to solve it. I just need to lift it.
Yeah, it's not a trap. If you guys got some other ideas, I mean, certainly. The problem is, it's just a gigantically heavy lid, which you can't slide.
handle.
It has to be lifted upwards.
Can we tip it over on its side so we're not lifting 800 pounds?
Whatever's in it's gonna.
Theoretically, yes. Lothar might have something to say about that.
Yeah,
though, 'cause-
here's the other thing. This is probably the sarcophagus to someone venerated by Erastil. So yeah, we're not going to tump it over. That's not acceptable.
Okay, well, you didn't tell me I couldn't do that before, so I didn't know. So
Oh,
Is there a
okay.
reason
I
we're
know
trying
that
to get
now.
into this?
Yeah, there's a reason we're trying to get into this.
Okay, all right.
And I have a dagger that's actually blessed to Erastil, or however you pronounce that. I'd be
Really?
pretty
Okay.
I'd be pretty upset if it got destroyed, but
I've got a
But it
regular
will be
dagger
destroyed.
that I'm okay if it gets destroyed because it's just there. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So Lothar's got a dagger that's dedicated to Erastil. The rest of you have daggers as well that you're coughing up.
I have a dagger I can cough up, regular dagger.
That's one.
Les, I've got levitate.
How many pounds? All right. So how many pounds will that work on?
800.
800?
Yeah.
You could lift 800 pounds?
Yeah.
All right. You
Here
want
we
to
go.
try it?
Yeah.
All right. Give me a quick knowledge arcane.
Does it have to be a quick one?
Yes, it has to be super quick. No, I'll
Is that
wait.
all of us or just him?
Just him.
Okay.
So I'm assuming that you're going to start the levitate spell. You're going to be like 30. You get the feeling. So it begins to come up, and there's actually a gap begins to form at the thing as Bardos is like, you see Bardos over there. He's like bringing the thing up, and
If there's a gap and I'm close enough, I'm going to jab a dagger in there.
There's a gap. I mean, he's got like a half to a 3/4 of an inch where it's like coming up. You could see like the interior sort of like thing in there. There's not a lot of space in between those two, but I mean, you could get wedges or daggers or something in there.
Actually, at this stage, if it's 3/4 of an inch, Storm's claws should be able to fit in there.
3/4 of an inch, yeah. Storm's claws is in there. So Bardos, what you're feeling
So
is something is pulling down on it.
Yeah, I'll say that.
Okay, Storm's going to try and grab it.
And it's not like physical. It's magical. It's a magical force that's pulling it back down.
That scene appeared when Lothar prayed. Is that right?
That's correct.
Well, I'll mention that to Lothar and see maybe if he can do a little more praying. Apparently, somebody wants to open this and somebody doesn't want to open it.
Yeah. Well, I'll get out of Storm's way, whichever way Storm is going to approach it. But
You're just going to get next to it, and if wherever that crack is, just get her claws in there and then start trying to pull back.
The Storm flings her claws into this crack and begins peeling up on it. But Illidar, you see the cords on Storm's arms begin to come out. She's pulling up onto this, and it's almost. And Bardos, you're really the first one who feels it. It's almost as if the more force that you guys are using to pull it back, the more force is pulling it down. It's like there's an intelligence inside it that is trying to close it. So Lothar, what do you pray?
Well, this is going to be risky.
Why don't you just try to open it first?
I'm going to put my hands in the crack.
Yeah, see if you can open it.
Yeah.
Hold on, I got to write that down.
It's finger in a dike. That's not a good place to put your
Baphometians
fingers.
don't like that.
Why would you put your finger there? I can't remember what movie that's from.
Hold on. Oh, Twitter's gonna be buzzing later. Okay, so you're gonna put your finger in there? What do you? I mean,
I'm gonna put my hand in. Well, now there's a separation between the lid, or what we assume is the lid, and the rest of it.
yeah, it's about 3/4 of an inch.
Right. So
So it's like this though. So there's not a lot of space between where you would put in and then what is obviously the interior sort of wall of the crystal.
Right.
There's not a lot of ton of room there.
No, I get that, but I'm going to put my hand in there and try to lift while I'm praying to Erastil to allow me access.
Okay. Tell me what you say to Erastil.
In order to perform the mission that you've asked, there are things in here you've suggested I might need. I ask that you allow me to access them now.
Hold on a second.
And then we hear from the sky a thunderous "bite me."
And my fingers get ripped off. Yes. And you have a one-handed priest.
Well, actually, the Storm's claws are in there right now too. So
All right, just sent you an email. So you're pushing on it. You're praying "Help me, Erastil, to do this," and but it's like you're pushing against this, and you can see Storm is pulling up, and the cords are just straining on her arms, and you could see Bardos is and you can see the vein. Well, I guess he doesn't have veins, and he doesn't sweat, but obviously the stress of him trying to levitate this thing off is beginning to take its toll on him, and you could see that's happening. You've got a hand in there, and you're like, Erastil, help me, that kind of thing, and you're pushing it up, but it's that pull just continues to try to bring that lid back down. Whatever's inside there does not want to be released.
All right. Well,
is there?
I'm going to switch over and ask Delamere.
What do you ask her?
Please allow me access. I want to perform the function that Erastil and you have required of me, but I need your help. And I'll tell the others to stop what they're doing.
Okay.
Give me a knowledge religion.
21.
Hold on, I'm sending you a message.
Email again?
Yep.
Okay, hang on.
All right, I just sent it to you.
Okay, give me a second.
Okay.
Sometimes the server likes to take a while.
That's why I tip well. Always tip your server.
Mm-hmm.
Did you get it?
Yes.
All right.
And I will vow to her that I'll never live in a city.
It's as if like a gravity clamp has been let go, and it's like suddenly, Bartos, you feel it's like a pressure wave has been lifted off you, and the lid just goes gently up into the sky. You see Lothar sort of like kind of look over and look into the coffin, and the rest of you sort of like kind of like, okay, what are we looking at? Inside, it is a coffin. Inside is the dried, mummified remains of what must have been a human or an elf. It's the right size, but the skin, what remaining skin is there is pretty much leather. You can see skull, everything's desiccated. There's no eyes, that kind of thing. Although you do see a fair amount of like reddish hair, sort of behind. But even more so striking than the body is what the body is clothed in. So on the body, which is clothed, is a set of it's wearing a long chainmail, what we call a hauberk, which is a chainmail shirt that goes past the thighs and has like various things, which looks to be in exquisite condition. Next to the body, tucked in there, is this quiver of arrows and what looks to be a longbow made of yew that's well over 5 feet long. And around its neck, the creature's neck, is a small gold chain with a even smaller, maybe an inch wide, a small red jewel with a little filigree around it, like a little like flat, sort of almost sort of a silver sort of starburst around this small red gem. The lid, Bartos, you were able to move the lid sideways and you set it gently down. I'm assuming away from the lava.
Sure. Yep.
Okay. But that's what you see inside.
Okay, so I'm going to ask Delamere if
You see Gatto reaching into the thing. It's like grabbing the arrows and the bow, and he's like, "Hey, look at this!"
I don't really. I was just expecting a reaction. So
Oh, okay.
slap the shit out of him.
The hands coming in, and then
Yeah.
and for once, it's not Storm.
Well, there you go. I'll ask Delamere which of these items we can use to perform her task.
So how do you ask? You just like pray to that?
Yeah, I'm just praying.
Okay. I'll send you an email.
Okay.
All right. Send you an email.
Okay. As soon as I get it, I'll let you know.
Okay.
And by the way, for everybody else in the party, just know I will never play a priest again.
Come on, man. Don't you like sort of like being at the wills of the gods and having a bunch of rules and shit that you have to follow?
Yeah, I'll go get the custom nose ring tomorrow.
I think all of us in A team should get nose rings, just as a sort of solidarity thing.
yeah,
As long as I get a clamp on.
I'll collect up all the items and I'll ask who was it that was doing it? Bartos?
It was Bartos, yeah.
Yeah, if he can levitate the lid back into place or levitate it back down into place.
Yep.
Bartos, the lid moves smoothly and seamlessly as you just sort of like re-levitate and lift it back up, and you can set it right back over the sort of the lip that is in there, and it seals with it hits with like a ka-choom, that indicates the heat of it, the mass of it, because there's so much mass there, but it feels like you're being able to move it very easily. And then you could see, so Bardos, you see it before anybody. Everybody else is sort of paying attention to Lothar, but you see that seam sort of like seal up all the way around the thing. Once you get the thing in place, it seals itself back up. And the seam goes away.
Okay, I'll tell Lothar that.
All right, so Lothar, you have a chainmail hauberk, a composite longbow, and this little tiny sort of like necklace that you pulled off of Delamere's body.
Yeah.
And you're pretty. I mean, you're 100% sure. You as a priest of Erastil are 100% sure this is the actual Delamere in this coffin.
Right. And she's sealed back up, so she's happy again.
She's sealed back up. Yeah, I mean, you're not getting any messages or anything, so you're hoping that she's happy.
Yeah, put on the chain. She's not happy. It chokes you to death. Fantastic.
So what do you do with those things that you've got?
Well,
You've got a big handful. I mean, that hauberk itself is big and heavy.
Right. Well, at this point, I need to get one of our magic users.
And by one of them, you mean Bardos.
And by one of them, I mean Bardos. To take a
Well,
look
the best
at these,
one, really.
Yeah, to take a look at these items and determine what they are.
How many do we have? 3?
Yeah, we have 3.
All right. So
well, actually, we have 4. Just in
if
case.
you got the okay.
Yeah, we have the quiver of arrows and the longbow, so that counts as 2.
Okay.
The chainmail and then the necklace.
Are they all magical?
No, actually, the quiver of arrows does not radiate any magic at all.
Okay.
But the longbow does, the small necklace does, and the armor does. So
is it a chain shirt or is it a chain armor?
It's chain armor. It's a hauberk. It's a long sort of shirt of chain that goes past the thighs.
So it's basically chain mail.
It's chain mail, yeah.
Okay.
So it radiates fairly strong magic. The longbow radiates strong magic as well. But the necklace, this very modest necklace with this small gem in it, radiates the strongest magic of all. And I mean easily an order of magnitude stronger. I'll be right back. I gotta pee.
Okay, so someone give me the 60-second summed up version of what I missed.
Okay, so we were supposed to sort of try and save this priest.
Right.
And the subdual effect didn't work, so now he's dead. So right. I got a voice in my head that said that he needs to be atoned for. So we have to go to a place on the abyss to save his soul from the demon that was tormenting him, because now he's there with her, and bring him back and then have him atone for his sins.
You know, fumbles have cost us so much in this adventure.
No, that wasn't a fumble. That was a crit. Crits keep costing us.
I'm sorry,
crits.
Adventure. Yeah.
Yeah, because we critically success and fail at the same time.
Because the crit killed him, and then we would have had a raised dead if we wouldn't have had to use it to resurrect the dwarf that we were trying to subdue, and
and a crit killed him.
Crit killed him too.
So yeah, we our subdual skills are not all that great.
No.
But anyway,
it's not our strong suit.
So the mission that I have been given, sort of from a deity perspective, is to go and save this guy's soul from the demon, destroy the demon completely, and then he can atone for his sins and go back to serving Delamere. The other part of that is the mentor that I originally started traveling with, that I've been looking for this whole time.
Right, that we were coming here for, hopefully to find something. Yeah.
Yeah, he's in the same place in the abyss.
Oh, already?
So, yeah, okay. To go. So if we go save one of them, then we can save both of them. Right.
Cool.
But so that's the task at that is to try and get him back. Now I've cast Bless and Gentle Repose, which means that his body won't start decaying for 9 days. We talked about going to the Ivory Citadel because they may have information that will allow us to get to this city in the abyss to try and save them. And we can get there and back within 9 days if we need to renew the Gentle Repose spell. We also have the quest that involves you, which we have a year to complete.
Yeah,
And
that
so-
one's lower priority.
Well, it's not lower priority. It's just we've got more time to deal with it.
Right,
So
yeah.
at this point, we've sort of decided we're going to go to the Ivory Labyrinth or Ivory Tower, whatever it's called. I'm sorry.
Sanctuary.
There you go. And try to deal with that and then
Okay.
see if we can get information that will allow us to get to this city in the abyss.
Okay, sounds good.
Is that it?
Yeah,
Yep.
pretty much.
Okay. All right. So tell me which scores. So you wouldn't necessarily do like an identify onto the quiver and arrows because they don't radiate magic. So
That was the 19.
that was
Yeah.
the 19. All right. So
Of course.
all right. So the armor, the hauberk, is a hauberk de celestiali. It is celestial armor. So just to let you know, it is +3 chainmail, so fine and light that it can be worn under normal clothing without betraying its presence. It is a max dex bonus of +8, armor check penalty of -2, and an arcane spell failure of 15. It is considered light armor, and it allows the wearer to fly on command as the spell once per day.
That's an amazing piece of armor.
Celestial armor.
It's pretty sweet.
I'm writing this stuff down. Just let everybody know.
The longbow is a +3 composite longbow, up to +4 strength. And it carries, the bow itself has marks of Erastil on it, which means it may have other benefits that one might grow into. Like Radiance gets better as Flashheart increases in levels and accomplishes things. This
Make it
bow
clear.
may do the same thing for Priest of Erastil. But the biggest thing, the most important thing, is that Bardos, you are flummoxed by this necklace, this small sort of thing that frankly defeats your ability as an arcane caster to look at it. It radiates divine magic in quantity and defeats your identifiability. So you get the impression, Bardos, as a mage, you get the impression that only a cleric could potentially figure this out. But it radiates a shitload of magic.
Okay, I'll go after Lothar. Gato, do you actually, you don't use a bow and arrow, do you? You're more of a knife guy, right? Knife in the back guy?
I can use a bow. I'm not that strong.
But he's not a priest of Erastil.
Right. Lothar is not really, you don't use bow and arrow, do you? Lothar?
Yeah.
I also love armor.
Well, it's so, in Lothar's defense, it is his god's primary weapon.
And yeah, Lothar does use a bow and arrow. He's just not very good at it. Because I'm not a fighter.
Right.
It's time to practice.
Yeah, maybe you have a moment here to. It's like somebody who can't shoot straight getting handle a laser sight AR-15.
Yeah. Well, but let me see here. Let me make sure I understand what I've got. Yeah, he carries a longbow now.
Okay,
He just doesn't shoot it very often because he doesn't hit anything.
right.
Well, and that, and plus we get hurt a lot, so.
Yeah, and I'm always healing. So
Yeah, good point.
Yeah, pretty much any cleric or healer I've played, the first round of combat is the only time I can really do damage. Because no one's been hurt yet. After that, yeah, you're pretty much on healing duty.
right.
But Bardos tells you that he cannot identify this necklace. It radiates such magic, such divine magic that he can't touch it.
No.
So can Bardos just, oh not Bardos, but can Lothar just do a spellcraft check to try and identify it?
You try, yeah.
All right. Well, let's see if I have spellcraft. I don't. If I can't do knowledge religion, then I don't have anything that.
So
would
do
work.
knowledge religion.
33.
Natural 20.
Natural 20? Holy shit. All right. You recognize this. It is something you've only heard of. But what you've heard is that occasionally Erastil will allow certain things to, for those people who are warriors in Erastil's service, and great casters of divine magic and that kind of thing, he will allow certain powers to be granted, and these powers are encapsulated in these very modest sort of necklaces. What you have here is one of those things, which is a talisman of pure good with 2 charges remaining on it. This was Delamere's necklace given to her by Erastil. A talisman of pure good does a couple of things. A good divine spellcaster who possesses this item can cause a flaming crack to open at the feet of an evil divine spellcaster who is up to 100 feet away. The intended victim is swallowed up forever and sent hurtling into the center of the earth. The wielder of the talisman must be good, and if he is not exceptionally pure in thought and deed, the evil character gains a DC 19 reflex save to leap away. Obviously, the target must be standing on solid ground for this item to function. But yes, if you are able to get, if you find yourself in the presence of an evil divine spellcaster and you enact the power of the talisman, you cause a crack to open in front of them and the earth swallows them up. And if you are pure of heart and you have, and basically you have, what was the phrase they use? Hold on a second. If you are exceptionally pure in thought and deed, no save. But if you are not pure, they get a DC 19 reflex save to avoid falling into the crack.
Okay. And I assume each use of that uses 1 charge?
Yep.
Okay.
And you get 2 shots. But evil divine spellcaster. That's what you can fight.
Okay.
Well, we've come across several of those so far, haven't we?
Oh yeah, talismans of pure
Well,
good. Yeah, they
Aren't
show
we
up. Yeah.
I'm about to head to one and find one.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm sure the Ivory Tower's got a couple hiding in there.
Hey, Bartos, that guy that had you experiment on you, was he arcane or divine?
Pretty sure arcane, although I'm not 100% sure, but I think arcane.
Okay.
Les, I would probably know that. I don't remember, but
As far as you know, arcane.
Okay, all right.
But I mean, it's not like you guys talked a lot about, your various. I mean, he works with demons though, so I mean, who knows? It's possible he might be divine. The stuff you saw was arcane, so unless he's cross-listed, it's probably arcane.
Okay. So this would be great to use on an end boss fight.
Yeah.
Not so much just one of the
Yeah.
evil clerics that's in combat with, a group of people.
Oh yeah, it's not something you like trot out every 2 seconds.
Right.
You have 2 charges. That's all.
Okay.
All right. So what do you guys do next? So are you going back to Dresden to check the libraries and find out about the city, or contact
Ivory Sanctuary first.
a Ruchelet, or
Ruchelet could probably help quite a bit since that's her neck of the woods.
Theoretically, I mean, she's back in Dresden.
But we talked about going to the Ivory whatever
Yeah.
to try to clear that out and maybe see if there was information kept there. Because the guy who held Bardos captive is like
Right.
a scholar and might have a bunch of information for that anyway.
Okay, so I say we go do that first, and then if we don't find enough or we don't find anything,
Then
then
we go to Dresden.
Yep.
Now, as far as the stuff that we found in the tomb, it all seems fairly well suited for me. But is the bow apparently gets better for a priest of Erastil, so I'm assuming that's for me.
Mhm.
The talisman, I would imagine that, well, it's divine magic, but it's sort of focused towards Erastil. So I don't know if it would even work properly for the paladin.
Yeah, those two things are pretty much only you.
Right. So
The celestial armor doesn't seem to have any sort of moniker on it.
Right. It doesn't have a designation. So is there somebody better suited in the party to have the +3 armor?
My first guess would be Gatto, and if not Gatto, then
It's light armor.
Yeah, chainmail counts as light armor.
It's light armor, and it would help me right now. I've got +1 studded leather, which also gives me +5 to stealth.
So you'd lose stealth, but you'd get some protection out of it.
I'd get some protection and the ability to fly.
Right. And is your dex over +8?
No.
So you'd keep your max dex. That's
Right.
that's
I'd
all
still keep
good.
my max dex, right.
Yeah. So that chainmail seems like that might be something that could help you.
Yeah, and my stealth would still be okay.
Yeah, your AC would be much improved.
Right.
So I'm thinking that works.
Going to Gatto?
Yeah. Provided there's no issue.
Chain shirt, +3, max dex of 8.
No, it's chainmail.
Chain mail.
It's mail.
So
Yeah,
it's medium armor, but because
it goes down past your thighs. It's a hauberk.
So it's the medium armor, but I guess it's kind of like mithril. It basically counts as...
It counts as light.
You can wear it under clothing. It does say that.
Yeah.
Okay, and it's fly once a day?
Yep.
At what level?
Caster level?
Yeah.
Why? The speed's the same.
Because it determines how long that fly lasts.
All right, hold on just a second. Caster level 5th is what it says.
Is that 5 minutes?
It'll be 5 minutes, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, 5th. All right, so 5 minutes.
I'll be right back.
Okay. All right, so Gatto, you going to put that armor on?
What did you have before, Gatto?
+1 studded leather.
A little bit of upgrade.
Yeah,
I wouldn't mind snagging that if you're not using it.
Nope, yours.
And it adds 5 to stealth?
Yes.
Hey, somebody remind me, because here, if you remember, I was wearing the Evil Dwarf spiky armor, and I traded with Gordon, your secondary character there, the dwarf. He put that armor on, I took his dwarf armor. How did we leave that when he left the party?
I think he kept it. Also, Gordon has dropped off for some reason.
They got Gordon.
Yeah.
He's completely dropped off. He's not on Roll20 either.
Oh, that's right.
It's probably that thing that Les said.
He kept it.
Right, so he kept the spiky stuff, so which means I'm wearing the dwarven, their ancestral dwarven armor, whatever it was,
Right.
which I think is the plate mail with ghost touch.
That's correct.
Okay, so just FYI, I'm wearing that.
All right.
Yeah, you gotta really appreciate our ancestors just leaving these valuable treasures all around the landscape.
It's true.
Just like somebody kicks it and like, let's put this this priceless stuff in this tomb with him. Sure, it'll be fine.
So you guys come out of the lava cave, dragging everything. Lothar's carrying Jeskar Helton's body, which he puts in his bed when you guys enter the a small little area, and you guys go back into the temple, and everything seems very sort of pale compared to what you guys have, the powers that you guys have been exposed to. But you throw open the door of the temple, and again you see the red, dusty sand of the world wound, the wind, and the dryness, and you realize that you're back on the road. You guys have about 3.5 days to get to where you think you're going, which is this ivory labyrinth. Is there anything that you guys are going to do in that 3.5 days? Is there any particular perception checks or anything that you guys are gonna look to do during that time? Because frankly, that time passes without any. It's very boring. You guys look to the skies. There's nothing in the skies. You guys are not attacked by any creatures, and it's just a 3.5 day slog across the red desert of the world.
Mm-hmm. And just so you know, Les, about every hour or so, Storm will take to the air.
Okay.
Jump up about, 500 feet or so.
Okay.
And then just take a quarter of a mile.
It's kind of make a loop.
Loop around us, and then come back, and then walk with us.
Give me a perception check. Just one. We'll, if there's anything to see, I'll let you know what it is. Over the course of several days, she flies out there often, and
like I said, it's about once an hour or so, just to kind of.
There's nothing, no rocks, no creatures in the distance, no worm riders,
nothing at all.
Nothing on the ground. Not even a nest of those little velociraptors that come out, those little bugs that want to eat you. It is deserted. Eerily so. You guys have spent a lot of time in the world wound. Mm-hmm. The fact is, it's rare that you don't see something out here.
Right.
But you guys have spent the last 3 days, you have to see nothing. Literally, absolutely nothing.
Well, we've never been to this part before, so we don't know if this is normal for this part or if this is, yeah.
So you guys do kind of like truck across here. You have to traverse several fairly substantial
this river right here,
and canyons.
This river, this is the borderline.
That's the Selin River, yeah. That's the borderline between the World Wound and
what we would consider safe parts.
Yeah, I would think so. Yeah.
Okay.
There are incursions, but yes.
Okay, so we're not far from. Okay.
You guys are like about right here now. I'm gonna go ahead.
Oh, we're way up there already?
No, you're about here.
After 3 days, yeah.
Yeah, you guys are trucking through here. Yes, it's across a couple of lines. You cross here, and you cross here. These take several times. There's like this weird, shitty forest right in front of you, which you guys managed to go. It has a real Mirkwood vibe to it, but you guys are careful and you get through there. And you eventually get into this area around the sort of the cornerstone of that kind of thing. So you guys feel like you are about a couple of miles from this temple, the Ivory Sanctum. What do you guys do? Do you guys do anything different, or you just like march up to it?
Full frontal assault.
Barnos has some intel he can share, right, Les? Haven't been there?
Yep.
We will do that.
Yeah, so that they have patrols that go out quite a bit.
Air or land?
Land patrols and air patrols.
Because we've still been doing the every hour or so storm going up and doing a circle. So Gordon, give me a quick. Now, do you have knowledge local?
I think I do. Hang on a second.
All right, let me have a knowledge local check if you have.
Yep. My internet took a crap, by the way. Did I miss anything in the last couple minutes?
Nah, just a couple of people bullshitting around.
We all got artifacts.
So Gordon is as Bardos
Well,
gets closer, Bardos continually expects to see overflights of Drake riders or Vrox, patrols, and as you get closer, you, especially in the next hex over, you begin to get, a little paranoid about stuff. But everybody's like, we haven't seen anything, and you're right there with them. You haven't seen anything. You're starting to get nervous because you're starting to get pretty close to this place. You're within like 2 or 3 miles of the site. You're sure of it. I mean, you recognize the territory. This is territory that you have escaped across. And the fact that there's no patrols, no overflights, the absence of those things makes you nervous.
You don't have to speak up, Matt.
I was just going to say that. Do we have any way to contact Drazen if we need to, without having to go back there? It makes me, this already puts my hackles up that maybe they're on the march.
I don't know. I mean, do you mean to contact Drazen? I don't know. Do you?
No.
We can do it. Can one of us do a sending or something?
I do not have that.
Lothar?
No, I don't have that either. I'm pretty sure sending is a mage spell.
Okay. Yeah, I think you're right. I was just thinking there was a way to.
Yeah, I don't have.
Bardos, you find it to be incredibly disconcerting. The fact that there.
How many people were in this place when I was there? I mean, give me a rough idea, like 100?
Your guess was over 100.
Over 100. Yeah. And all demons, right?
No, mostly humans. Mostly those Ivory Templars, those guys that you've run into them a fair amount before. They're human sort of Baphometians.
This is their
this is their headquarters. Right? This is their headquarters, yeah.
And they're knights, they're not anti-paladins, right?
They are definitely anti-paladins.
They are, okay.
Yeah, they were
I thought they were knights, not anti-paladins.
I mean,
no,
if you're
they smited you guys.
Matt, if you're really worried about that, I just did the math. Storm can cover about 13 to 15 miles in an hour, which is more than one of these hexes.
Do you want to maybe? I could
send her halfway back. It'd only take her a couple. We wouldn't be with it. She wouldn't be with us for a couple hours. Send her a couple miles back or a couple hours back, which would get her halfway to Dresden, and she could just scout and see if she sees anything, and then.
We came from there though, right? Well, I guess they could have went more north though. Huh?
Yeah, they could have went more north. But that does. However many hexes you wanted to go, that's an hour. And then what we do is, to avoid the return trip, we just plan ahead of time how long we're going to have her go. And then I would just dismiss her and then take the minute to summon her back up here.
Yeah, that makes sense.
How
did we rest before we left?
Yes.
I'm sure we did.
Yeah, you did. So you're thinking about sending. Let me get this straight. You're thinking about sending Storm back towards Dresden to see if she can overfly any sort of attack going on there,
just in case there's a force.
They're going to have their own intel, their own recon. If somebody's coming, they should find them.
Yeah, and 100 guys doesn't seem like it to get the job done and taking over Dresden. I'm just thinking maybe we're going to find that they've abandoned these 86, this crew, but it just seems
or if not abandoned, maybe they know we're out here attacking stuff. Maybe they're just pulling everything in to make a sturdy defense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, if most of them are out, that would be good news for us for getting this place.
So one thing I think Bardos might mention is that, look, he escaped, but he hasn't had, an opportunity to do anything. It could be that the guy's scrying him. there's no way to tell. And Bardos would be leery of that.
Yeah, but you
So
could
maybe
at
they
least
know
do
where we're at. Yeah,
it.
So it could be a trap.
Mm-hmm.
And if that's the case, we don't want to be without Storm if that happens.
yeah.
All right,
That's
let's
all
just-
you trap.
yeah.
We'd be without Storm for a minute, because even if we say, hey, we're going to send her back 3 hours, and if an hour into it we see that there's people coming after us, I could immediately dismiss her even though it's before the time, and then it just takes me a minute to summon her back right here.
Okay.
It's a good point.
Hey. I mean, I think we should just focus on the Ivory Sanctum, though. I mean, whatever's going on,
Mm-hmm.
Citadel Drazen, they're not amateurs there. I mean, the dwarves are there now. They're going to be fine. They're prepared.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, unlike what we walked into, they're ready for attack all the time. We walked into a place that just wasn't ready for attack.
We don't need to warn them or even see if they're getting attacked. I mean, they're fine. If they're not, then...
If they're not, there's probably nothing we could do to affect it.
Right.
Yeah, I think Bardos makes a good point.
Yeah, we just need to focus on...
It's a good point.
Wait, Les agrees with us. Okay, scratch that. It's a bad point.
Ilendar would agree with
Could
Bob.
be a good point. I don't know. Yeah, you never know. All right, so what are you guys going to do?
If you want tough recon, we send Storm up to look in the place. If you want stealth recon, I'd send Chuck's. Is it an owl?
Ziggy.
Yeah,
Ziggy.
Yeah, Ziggy the owl.
Ziggy. So both of them's got good eyes and could see over there. One of them, like I said, Storm can handle her own, but everyone's going to see her.
Yeah, Ziggy would die pretty quickly, but she's pretty stealth.
But
So.
she's pretty small and could.
I can make Storm invisible.
How fast does Ziggy move?
Hang on a second.
What's the fly speed?
I think it's 80, but let me double check that.
If that's the case, then Ziggy's faster than Storm.
I hate this sheet. Where does it say that?
Is he an English swallow or your
African swallow or you? Yeah, it's fly 80 feet.
Okay.
Somebody get a coconut.
So yeah, Ziggy's a little bit faster. So, I mean, if you made Ziggy invisible, Ziggy could get in and out before Storm could.
Yeah, but everything's going to be 300.
Everything, yeah. Stupid
How many
bird.
guys are there? 300.
Yeah.
So what do you guys want to do?
Ziggy is not stupid. Thank you very much.
She's
Matt?
a bird brain.
It was a dumb joke we started at one of our Friday night things, talking about one of our characters had a bird and it being stupid. And kind of like this group, once you have a joke, it just kind of becomes
It never
a
dies.
permanent
Really
running joke.
horrifying, yeah.
And so, yeah, anytime there's any bird involved, it's the same stupid bird that only knows one number. So you ask him how many of whatever's where, and it's
Well, it was bugs, wasn't it? It was a bug.
No, it was a
It
bird.
was a bird?
no, I think it was
Counting orcs.
yeah,
Oh,
count
that's
orcs.
right. It was counting orcs. It's always 300.
Even though it was intelligent enough to talk, it didn't know how to count.
So everything was 300.
So math was not a strong point. That's okay.
Right.
No.
All right, so what do you guys
Okay.
want to do?
After talking it through, I think we should just if we could do that and do a recon on the Ivory Tower, that's great. But let's just focus on the tower until we know for sure what's
So-
at everything. It does. What else can we do to look for traps? Anything else we can put out there that helps us, Gato? Any suggestions of what we can do to if there's a trap waiting for us besides the obvious,
What's the general layout, Les, of this place? So we talking about a castle or a keep or?
It's less a castle or keep. It's more like what you might see at Petra, right? There are canyons that you remember that lead to the entrance.
So
But
was the
it's
whole thing
below
underground?
ground as opposed to above ground. So there's a
Oh,
little, I mean, there's a
okay.
little hump there, from a surface standpoint. Most of it, to get down into it, as Bartos would tell you, you have to kind of go through the canyons, and there's like a big sort of doorway that you go through to get into the thing. It's built into the canyons as opposed to on top of the canyon. It's not a tower. It's not a castle. It's built into the ground.
So it's like an underground fortress.
Kind of, yeah. I mean,
Okay.
like Petra almost.
So I'd take one of our flyers and just fly over, just to give us some aerial recon of what's outside, and then we'll decide after that.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, if they pull everything in, chances are there's not going to be much to see. But it can't.
Right, but at least we'll know if there's nothing there. That they've either abandoned it or they've pulled everybody in, and we know it's going to be a tough fight once we get in there.
Rocks aren't that fast, right, Les, compared to an owl? Do they?
Compared to an owl, no. Vrock's move. I'll tell you here. Hold on a second. Vrock's speed is 30 feet, or their fly speed is 50. With average, I mean, they're kind of clunky in the air. 50-foot speed, and not great maneuverability.
Okay, I'll do an invisibility on the owl, but I don't know that we need it for what's going on here.
Do you want to save it, or
I mean, I'll leave that up
let the owl be seen?
to Lothar. It's your choice.
Well, I think the owl has,
If the owl stays high enough, I think she'd be fine.
well, and the owl has pretty good stealth, so I think we'll probably be all right.
I'll send
Okay.
Storm up in the air and kind of have Storm stay about halfway between us and where the owl is. So
If
if
this
need
creature
be.
is scrying on us, then chances are
yeah,
it knows what we're doing anyway. So
Right, and at that point, it wouldn't matter. So you may as well save the spell.
like I said, I'm going to send Storm up and just tell Storm to stay about halfway between us and where Ziggy goes.
And I'll send Siggy on the aerial recon
Okay.
and have her fly stealth, quiet, and
So let me just make sure I have it straight in my head. You guys are about 3.5 miles away, out in the whirlwind. You send Siggy and Storm out. Storm goes about 1.5 miles and starts sort of
And
going,
stops,
making
yeah.
circles,
Yep.
kind of thing. And then Siggy goes forward to overfly what you guys think is the Ivory Templar area, right?
right.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Storm doesn't see anything of any note.
Okay.
Siggy flies over the area. One of the things you guys continue to be marveling at is the idea that there are no patrols, no overflights. You guys are approaching really close to this place, and you do not see any guards, anything like that.
You didn't see signs of any battles or anything else that could have happened?
No, nothing. I mean, you don't see any people. You don't see anything. So Siggy flies sort of over the thing. So how high is Siggy going to overfly this thing? Maybe 100 feet, 200 feet?
Well,
Or higher?
Yeah, maybe a little higher. He's got, let's see. Well, the vision of an owl who can pick out
Okay,
a
so-
field mouse from 500 feet up. So
Wait a
If
second.
you're
I have
about
to
400 or
check.
500 feet up, that's a
I-
negative 8 to 10 for anyone firing a bow at him if they see him.
Hold on, I got to check the trebuchet rules. I'll be right back. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
You know what? If
So
they-
he's flying.
if
So he's
they can
flying
hit
what?
an
300,
owl
400
every day,
feet?
they deserve it.
yeah, something like that.
All right. So so Siggy overflies this place, and again, you're struck by the lack of activity. What Siggy does see is a couple of things. One, the entrance to this place is sort of like this weird kind of canyon that comes up from the top and goes sort of swirls around and gets into a place where it goes into the wall of a canyon, which is below the surface. So it's not so much a cave, but it's again, I go back to the example of Petra, where you have to kind of go down into the canyons and you kind of whirl around and then you find yourself at this gate. That's the thing. Inside this area, right outside what looks to be the gate, Siggy sees a couple of things. One, a lot of broken down statues and columns are sort of like broken and stuff like in the thing. Like it was a bigger thing before and somebody knocked it down. Give me a perception check for Siggy.
All right, hang on just a second. Let me make sure I know what. 19.
All right, so Siggy sees a couple of things. One, amongst these, like the broken statuary and things like that, she does see some movement in a couple of places. And further, there's something that catches her eye, like in the middle of the sort of walkway that leads to, what you would assume to be a gate. There is a large book, sort of sitting there in the sand.
Okay.
That's got trap written all over it.
She does see a little bit of movement at the edges. There is some sort of creatures that are kind of like moving around a little bit. Beyond that, she can't tell what they are or anything like that.
Yeah, she just sees movement.
Yeah.
And a book in the sand.
And a book in the sand, pretty much like right in the middle of this area.
It's a map of the plains.
Probably. Or, the cover of the book says, information the party needs to know. All right, you guys think about that. I'll be right back.
Now,
Got a subject sigil on it.
I'll relate that information to the party. There's some creature movement, unsure of what they are, and a book in the sand.
What in the sand? A book?
A book.
Okay. And where is it at compared to us?
3 miles that way.
Yeah.
So full frontal assault on the book?
Do we do any other kind of assault?
I was going to say that does seem to be our MO.
Yeah.
I'm seeing the Monty Python thing where they come forward fast and then go back and forward and back.
Yeah.
What that? It's just a bunny. Rabbit stew coming up.
Were you guys talking about me?
Of course.
Okay. I just want to make sure that was the case. All right. So, so you get this information back. As Siggy shows back up at where you guys are, about 3 miles away. What do you guys do?
We're just contemplating that we only have one sort of attack and it's full frontal. That's our signature move.
The full Monty.
So there's like this little canyon that goes down to what you suspect is the entrance. There's some movement in that canyon, and there's a book laying in the middle of it in the sand that Siggy spotted.
Like a normal sized book?
Large book. Probably the size of an Oxford dictionary.
Graphic novel, man.
So a tome, perhaps.
A tome or a spell book or something of that nature, yeah.
Crap.
Yeah.
Crap.
No trap.
No trap.
Trap? I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Could be anything.
I
I'm
assume
sure they say there's out in the middle of the world wound. I mean, that's where I keep mine.
I assume everything is a trap. That's why I'm still alive.
Nice line.
All right, Prince Humperdinck.
So what do you guys want to do? You guys are about 3 miles off.
I think we're going to creep a little closer. No, we're not very good at creeping either. I'm just remembering our last full frontal assault was like across a half-mile open plain that wasn't working for us so well. So I'd like to get a little closer before I have to sprint in plate armor.
Yeah.
Oh, for a temporary thing?
How far down in the canyon is this? Like, is it climbable down? Is it rope down? Or
Storm can fly the whole
Probably
party.
80 to 100 feet deep from the surface.
yeah, you said Storm could carry 6,000 pounds. Wouldn't that be all of us if we enlarge
You guys
Yeah.
had a big basket, maybe.
Right. Well, here's the deal. She's got a dual saddle, so 2 people can actually ride her. The other ones would probably tie themselves off to the straps that hold that thing on, and just be tied to her.
Can we get some Andre the Giant? Can we get some Andre the Giant straps for Fletcher, and we just enlarge him as well? Ride him.
Fletcher's not here tonight, though.
Right.
So we're gonna go in like a Black Hawk.
We basically treat her like a helicopter.
We're gonna go in like a
You
Black
got people
Hawk
standing on the sides,
with
holding
people
on to straps and holding on to
rappelling
stuff.
off the sides.
Yeah, it works.
Did somebody put on the chainmail that flies?
Yes, I did.
Gatto's got that, but I'd save that for when he needs it.
Well, yeah.
Can somebody cast a music spell for Ride of the Valkyries as we go in?
Oh, I think that can happen.
So yeah, she can get us there, and she can move us at 120 feet per round.
Let's do it. If nothing else, it'll be a spectacular
Exactly.
fail.
Charlie, don't surf.
So I just want to make sure that I'm reading you guys right. You guys are going to attach yourselves to storm.
An enlarged storm.
An enlarged storm.
Don't need to. She's already large.
Don't need to? Okay. But you couldn't carry all of us if she wasn't enlarged. Go ahead.
At large, she can lift off the ground 6,000 pounds.
Got it.
Which, whenever you're flying, they go by what your encumbrance is. So, I mean, technically, if you want to go to it, she's still at 1,000 pounds. Once we go over 1,000 pounds of us, then she goes up from light encumbrance up to medium.
Yeah, I would say easily, let's say we average ourselves out at 300 pounds each with equipment, et cetera. And we're still going to be only half or less her maximum weight.
Yeah, she would be at medium encumbrance carrying all of us.
But we want to make sure that Les doesn't get too many rolls to
and actually
fall to our death.
With a single first level spell that I've got, I could give her Antall, which triples her carrying capacity for 16 hours.
So there'll be 6 people then.
So then she'd never leave light encumbrance.
Bardos calls shotgun.
Oh, Bardos will get it.
No, Flashheart demands shotgun.
I kind of just want to hang off a stirrup with one hand with the radiance in the other.
So all right, so
Red-nosed reindeer.
You guys take advantage of Storm's sort of like weird saddle situation. You guys can hook on and that kind of thing. And it varies much like a Ride of the Valkyrie sort of helicopter attack. Where are you guys going to land?
She's trying to fly on our plane.
The canyon comes down quite a bit and then flows down a little bit and then sort of like turns towards the gate. What you think is the gate.
Where's the book?
Huh?
Where's the book in relation to that?
It's in the middle of this sort of like approach way towards the main gate. So yeah, so if you're coming down here and you kind of turn, it's like right here.
I mean, she could fly in the air,
fly to the book,
swoop down to the canyon, and then drop us right there, set down right there in front of the book.
Which is a 20 megaton bomb.
So what happens? So what happens when you guys? I mean, she's gonna hover, and you guys are gonna drop off like Marines coming out of a helicopter.
No, she's just gonna land, but land slowly.
She's gonna land. You guys blaze off, and then what? She takes off again?
No, then she's gonna stay with us.
All right. So she lands. You guys peel off.
Yeah.
What does like charges the door? Or she just sits there for orders, waits for orders.
I'm kind of hoping we keep the whole party together. We didn't see anybody up to the door, right?
Oh yeah, there was
a little bit of movement.
Unknown creature type movement.
It wasn't like people.
And it was inside the door, right up against the door.
No, it was more like, so there's like this weird sort of big canyon that
Right.
that goes to the door. It was inside the canyon.
Just like a King Kong door, or is it a? I mean, how big is this thing?
It's hard to tell. I mean, you guys couldn't get a look at it. Yeah, I mean, it would almost have to be pretty big.
Did Bardos come out of this door?
No, Bardos did not.
How did he leave this area to come to where
Cave system.
we found him?
He'll tell you cave system. He goes, I was pretty woozy, but I came out of a different cave somewhere else.
Oh, and he doesn't know where that is?
He has no idea. It was down in those canyons somewhere, but the canyons are everywhere. He'd be like, canyons are everywhere. There's no way to tell.
I plane shifted to get out too, so I just
Yeah.
Okay.
That's right. He plane shifted. I forgot about that.
I mean, if you want to check out the book, we do that. Otherwise, she can literally fly us right down and drop us off right at the front door.
What do you guys want to do about the book?
What can a book be? Is there any?
I don't know. It was right there in the middle of the. It was just sitting there, right in the middle of the sort of this like desert area.
Like
But what you were saying, there's no people around.
Well, those of us that are casters can go on with detect magic going, and I'd be very leery if we show up and that thing's magical.
Detect magic is a range.
Oh yeah, we can't see it until we're within 60 feet of it.
It's probably a mimic.
It could be.
Like, it's not suspicious at all, just being a book in the middle of a.
Hold on, I gotta write something down real quick. Okay. Book is a mimic. Okay, got it. That's a good idea. So what do you guys do? Looks too easy, doesn't it?
Yep.
Looks way too easy. What do you guys think, Jess? Mike, you got an idea. Chuck, what about you? Don, Gato can stealth in, maybe? You never know. You guys are.
Whatever they ask.
And the only way in is the gate, right?
As far as you know, it's the only way in.
We could do some recon once we get there, but I mean, this guy knows we're here, so.
Oh, he maybe knows we're here.
We can get to the book and then decide what to do from there, right?
Well, and there are the creatures that are moving around are in the broken statuary that's like before the book, right?
Correct.
So I would be less happy about landing past them so that they're at our backs, so that if the book and whatever's in front of it is bad, we also have something that's going to kill our retreat. Or
So we should land and see what's walking around first.
well, that's what I'm thinking. Land farther out. It'll get us close so that we're not miles away.
Yeah.
But we won't be in a situation where if we land too close to the door, we've got enemies on both sides.
Is this the book right here? In that goalie or no?
What?
Closer to that.
No, it's in this area, Matt. The where the intersection is.
You're looking at a huge map on this
Yeah,
one.
it's huge.
Right. I'm sorry. Isn't that a 5-foot scale, Liz? All right.
No, it's not. More like a 20-mile scale.
I think that makes sense. We don't want to leave enemies to our back.
Are there trees in the woods, Les, where the creatures are? Or
No, I mean, that's going to be all above you is the thing. I mean, once you get into these canyons, there's no trees or anything like that. It's just sand, rocks.
I can stealth ahead, and if I get discovered or something like that, I can use this fly ability to get away.
All right.
Still land in the ruins where the creatures were?
Yeah,
Let's try that.
and then I
So wait,
will
where do you want to land?
scout out and before the ruins where the creatures are lurking around the ruins.
So there's like a little curve. I mean, so there's a curve that goes this way and then it backs off this way and the creatures are back here. So I mean, theoretically, you could land in the there's an approach that you could land in where you would not be seen by the creatures, and they would be sort of like around the corner.
That's what we're going to do.
Do you want to do that? Okay.
That way we can find out what they are before they end up behind us.
If this is your first time in flying armor, I'm visualizing greatest American hero.
And then I will stealth over there to see if I can find out more about these creatures.
All right. Why would that not? Can you guys not see anything?
I cannot see it right now.
Black.
Oh, there's at the bottom of it. There's something. Us grouped together.
Oh, there you are. That's what I want. Right there. All right. See the lines?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the edges of the canyon. Now you guys are all clustered around Storm, who is currently flying. You guys, two of you are sitting in the
Saddle.
in the saddles. The rest of you have like latched on to this web gear that she has on. You guys are flying. You guys are coming down for a landing. What do you do?
We land.
Okay, so you land here.
Drop down and get over to here, hugging that wall, and begin stealthing.
Okay, so you guys have landed. You can see that the corridor turns to the left, just a little ways above, to the east of you guys.
Okay. How high is this ridge?
The ridge goes about 80 to 100 feet up, so you guys are pretty deep down into this crevice. But you can see that it's a combination of natural stone higher above and carved stone down there. Somebody built this.
Okay.
I'm going to cast resistance on Gato before he walks away.
Okay.
Just +1 for a bit if he needs it.
Resistance to anything in particular, or just armor class?
It's on all saving throws.
On all saving throws. Okay.
Okay. All right. So you guys peel off of Storm. Ilindar, what do you and Storm do? I mean, do you guys stay, or does Storm take off to go get supplies, or maybe
yeah, she goes to get
something else? Yeah, get a couple of beers, that kind of thing.
Don't stay too close as I stealth away.
Okay, you got a ways to go before the corner, right?
Okay.
Well, about 15 feet.
Hang on. How far? Okay, even with that move, it's 50 feet, right? Now I'm going to cast Bless.
Okay.
Which gets everybody.
All right. It's +2 on most everything, correct?
No, Bless is
one.
plus 1 morale
+1.
bonus on attack and on saving throws against fear effects.
Okay. All right, Gato. Give me a stealth check.
Hold on, let me get the bless and resistance on here.
No, hold on. Give me the stealth check before that.
Do it now.
$21. Okay, good to know. All right, so you're sneaking around there. What do you see? Give me a perception check. We can get a moment.
I'm going to touch Storm with resistance while he's standing next to me.
Okay.
That lasts a minute. Away.
18 for perception. You see a bunch of. So you see this essentially. This path begins to go downward. There's a bunch of boulders and what are obviously like old carved like columns and things like that. These are not natural stones. These are all like broken things that have been scattered about here. You're not entirely sure what they're broken from, but there's a fair amount of this stuff. The walls themselves are carved, although they're carved in a naturalistic sense. So this place has been here for a long time, and somebody carved their way down here. But you don't see any creatures.
Okay. I'm going to stealth to this location here.
Okay. Go for it, dude.
All
right. Give me a
That's
perception
my
check.
stealth.
All right.
That's my perception.
All right. So you see a couple of things. One, you see a creature here and a creature here. Now, the first thing, let me describe these creatures to you. They are squat reptilian monsters with 8 legs, bony spurs jutting from their backs, and eyes that you can see only tertiarily that glow with a pale green fire. Here, you see a book. And these two creatures are sort of like wandering around. They do not seem to be paying attention to the book. But the book is definitely there. It's a large book. And give me another perception check real quick. 16? It's a book that looks familiar to you. Like, you're thinking, I've seen that book before. I've seen it. You can't remember where, but you've seen it. You've seen it. You know you've seen it. Anyway, these big sort of lizards kind of like...
I want to pick up a rock where I'm at.
Okay.
And throw it over here.
Okay. Give me a ranged attack.
Here we go. Hold on. I'm not really throwing my dagger, but that's what I've got mixed up.
Okay. 22. All right. So the rock goes completely over the thing and kind of like dances around over in this area right here.
Yep.
You see these two creatures kind of like both do like, and they both turn towards it. This one actually kind of like comes running through here. Not running. They kind of lumber. Yeah, they don't move very quickly. They kind of like, and they're both looking over there. You get a really kind of like interesting look at their eyes. Their eyes look otherworldly, troublesome. They're big lizards with weird eyes.
So they didn't run over there to that area.
And this thing right here?
Kind of laborious. They're not really fast.
They're not really fast. They didn't just really run over there. They're sort of ambling over there. But you see this thing right here?
Yeah.
That little thing? That used to be, or at least to your eyes, used to be some sort of statue. And you're amazed at how realistic it is.
Yeah, I'm worried about those guys because of the 8 legs. But that's metagaming.
What about the rest of you guys? So he's like wandering around in there. You guys are sort of hang back. And you're like, well, I hope Gatto's okay. What are the
We're
rest
just waiting
of
for
you
him to come
doing,
back,
if anything?
or hear a commotion.
We're playing the Pathfinder version of Pinochle over here.
Okay. Is anybody doing anything other than just
Well,
sort of standing around waiting for Gatto to come back?
I'm going to head back, actually.
All right, so you're going to come back. Stealth back?
Stealth back to here, but then I'm going to kind of go faster.
Okay.
Remember, besides being able to turn on flashlight, it doesn't glow brighter when evil's closer, right?
All right.
I have ability to make it brighter, but
yeah, no, it's fine. What do you tell these guys, Gatto?
So there's a bunch of rubble there. It used to be like maybe statues or some sort of architecture that's crumbled there. There are 2 creatures, squat reptilian creatures, 8-legged, don't appear to be very fast. Their eyes have a green glow to them.
is that the same glow we had on the rock?
There's also a book just laying there on the ground open. It seems familiar, but I can't quite place where yet. And there is one particular statue with surprising detail there.
That was a knowledge nature for Bardos. Not very big.
Okay. You're pretty sure that nature exists, but you don't know anything about it.
Would it be knowledge nature or knowledge planes?
I mean, what are you guys trying to figure out?
Knowledge engineering.
Based on his description of the creature, does
Oh,
it sound
the
like
creatures. Yeah, so, no, knowledge nature.
20?
Ooh, 20. You suspect, especially you pay particular attention to him describing the eyes. You're worried that these might be basilisks. 8 legs, glowing eyes.
Turn you to
A
stone?
lot of
Flesh
stone
of stone.
around.
Yeah, so I will let everyone know that creature sounds like it might be a basilisk, and they can petrify with a look.
Mm-hmm. And there's 2. At least.
Do I
In the
know
book.
based on, since I know the creature type,
Mm-hmm.
do I have any idea what they're susceptible to? What the
From a 20 knowledge Nate, you might get one thing. What do you want to know? Are you looking for weaknesses? Or are you looking for?
What's their weakness?
Can you tell me the range of their gaze?
You have heard a rumor that if you splash somebody that's been turned to stone by a basilisk with the blood of the basilisk within an hour, that will change them back. But you're not sure if it's true.
That's bullshit.
It sounds like bullshit, but that's what you've heard.
Well, I'd like
Beyond
to pray.
that, you don't know that they have any like weaknesses per se.
I'd like to pray for the sword of Gryffindor, please.
Okay. And Neville, what's his name to handle it?
Apparently, they can slay basilisks.
Yep. Apparently so.
We have no idea what the range of their gaze weapon is, though, right?
Well, you guys have no idea.
No.
I have an idea.
If we get up to the top of the bluff and just fire arrows at it, if it's 100 feet away.
Yeah, but it's 100 feet, but I mean.
We can go full bird box.
Are you guys still thinking that you guys have like any sort of stealth here? I mean.
Jono does. That's about it.
Well, no, I think what he's thinking is if Storm flies us up to the edge of the bluff, cliff, whatever it is, if that's still within longbow range, then we can rain down arrows and not be within the
range of the gaze.
The range of the gaze attack.
Right, to the top of the things. Well, you could do that.
And,
100 feet is well within bow range.
Yeah, longbow range, 100 feet is still short range.
Yeah, there's no penalty for the longbow. For short bow, it'd be a -2.
Right. So, I mean, I'm
willing to try that.
Yeah, I don't know the range of the gaze.
If one other person will go with me and just let the others know if I turn to stone or not.
Well, and
Illendar will come with you.
I have this new fancy bow.
You want to try it?
Yeah, I could try to stand
Actually,
up
no,
there.
I don't want you doing this first. We don't need our healer to get turned to stone.
Right.
No.
Let me do it first.
I'll go up there. Kato and I will head up there. And if I bring back a stone Gato, then we know that didn't work really well.
That's ineffective.
All right, so what's the plan now?
Storm is going to fly Illendar and I up to the top of the cliff.
Okay, so the very top, like 100 feet up.
Right.
Yep.
I'm going to go over to the area where I can look down and see the basilisks.
And then start peppering them with arrows.
And, fire arrows at them.
All right.
Hopefully their gaze range isn't as great as that.
As far as you know, it's not.
So for arrow number 1.
All right, so wait, who's going up there?
Illendar and
Taking
Gato and
Illendar
Storm.
and Gato.
Storm, Gato, and Illendar?
Yeah.
But Gato's the only one looking over the side shooting arrows. Illendar's just there to...
So I'm just going to put you guys over here for a second.
Okay.
Separate you
Just
from the
leave it
general
backup.
rain of things.
What's wrong for you?
Now, hey, Les,
Yeah.
Storm is going to be like over here at the corner.
Right, I'm just putting you to the side. You guys are basically 100 feet up on
Right.
the edge of the canyon.
Right.
So you guys take a look down, and it's just Gatto or just Ilindar or both?
Just got
Just Gatto takes his bow, and he's like looking down, and he sees what he thinks are basilisks, and he's going to take a shot.
Right. And
Okay.
Ilindar tells Gatto, let us know if they start to make a break for it so Storm can go down and intervene.
Okay.
Like if the basilisks try to run for it.
Try to run towards where the party is
They
hiding.
run south.
Okay.
If they run north, great. If they run south, that's an issue.
All right, go ahead and fire.
So 17.
All right. That's a miss.
26.
26 is a hit. So you
9
hit.
points.
I'm assuming you're firing at the closest one.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So how many points of damage?
9.
9 points. Okay. So you see the creature start to like wiggle around, and its legs are going around. And it's kind of like looking around like this, and the arrow is stuck in its back around its like little rigid edges.
Right.
So it's not happy about it, but it's still wandering around and kind of like scabbing around, kind of thing.
No, their necks aren't really long, so they shouldn't have a lot of range of motion in their neck.
No, you're pretty sure he doesn't see you. Certainly not from above. That's a miss. That's a hit. Are you continuing to fire just as long as you can?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Second hit, 9 points.
Yep. I might need more arrows, guy.
All right. Another one buries itself in the back of the creature. At which point, Ilindar, give me a perception check.
Oh, sorry. 18.
25?
No, 18.
18.
He just didn't respond, so I hit it again, and then both of them showed up.
All right, I'm going to move you guys down here for a second. So ignore the purple line. You guys are standing on the edge of the cliff. Ilindar, you're looking down. Gatto, you're shooting down. Storm
I'm
is
not
sort of
looking.
standing back.
Ilindar's not looking down.
So where are you?
So let's
Okay,
say
that's the edge of the
Sitting on Storm?
No.
so let's say Storm. Like let's say that's the This is the edge down here.
Let's say
Yeah.
no. Wait a second. Let's say this is the edge. Hold on. Let's keep this. Let's keep it clean, people. Here's the edge of the. No, let's not use that.
Okay.
That was good.
There you go. There's your edge.
So I'm at
Okay.
the edge. Ilindar should be back. Yeah.
Okay.
And actually, Storm's down here because this green thing comes around and goes.
And Ben's.
It's this part right here. So technically, Storm is sitting like right here.
So like.
Storm is right here on the edge, so he can see the party.
Like right there, kind of thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Okay.
And then
So you can still see the
Ilindar's-
party.
Yeah, and I would
Ilindar's
actually
right
be
here.
up farther away from that corner then. So
Yeah,
if they
right.
do see me, they're not going to run,
Okay.
And Ilindar is just keeping an eye on Gatto.
All right.
see if it turns to
So
stone.
your perception check was an 18.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Does Storm need perception too?
No. Yeah. Actually, yeah. Couldn't hurt.
Storm's is 20.
Remember that thing you guys ran into the desert? That four-armed creature that came out of the gate?
Yep.
Yeah, the big tough one.
It just teleported in.
So he's on top of the
Yeah.
cliff.
He kind of, yeah, he's on top of the cliff. He kind of looks around, sees you guys, and begins to move forward.
I'm gonna yell, Gatto, jump on Storm. We gotta get out of here.
Boom,
Okay.
boom.
I
So,
just
Gatto,
have to go
you
back to
run
how
over
we
there
were
and
raised.
jump on Storm. Give me acrobatics. 25. All right, so you reach over and Storm's taking off, and you just jump onto the
net. I grab the netting.
Yeah, the netting, and Storm just like takes off. You see this thing walk over to the edge of the thing, and he kind of looks up and looks down, and he's searching you, and then you see him sort of like step off the edge.
So does he fall all the way down?
Yeah, he not only falls all the way down, but he lands like this.
Superhero landing. Superhero landing.
Yeah.
And then stands up, looks around, and looks at Flash Art, and is like, "Oh."
I think it's initiative time.
Yeah.
Hey,
Where are you guys? So you guys are up in the air. Where are we landed? Where are you guys landed?
Oh, when I see that this thing's jumped down in front of the party, then I'm directing Storm back down so we can engage this thing.
So like right there?
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
probably like right there.
This thing can't weigh more than 6,000 pounds. Drop it from a higher location.
All right. All right. Let's roll for initiative, shall we?
Oh, sorry. Keep forgetting to do the.
I call last.
All right.
I can't get my guy.
Make sure your tool is the arrow.
Yeah, I'm in the wrong one. Never mind.
Okay, how come I've got my guy selected? Oh, mine's. I wonder if I don't have the.
Mine wasn't working because I was on the measurement tool, as Don pointed out. So.
See, mine didn't. Mine still didn't put a thing in.
Okay, this one.
Frankly.
You got to run that macro.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, that's right. Is that why there's decimal points on it too?
Yeah.
I remember that now. I thought I'd ran the macro. You taught me to run it. What if it didn't take? I thought we ran the macro. You taught me how, and that's what.
Yeah. So you have to highlight your character, then run the macro.
Hey, Don, can you throw that text of your macro back out there? Apparently I've never done that with
Yeah, hold on a second. Let me.
Alandar. I'll just throw that in there.
You're busy being dead.
Yeah.
Sure. Did you roll initiative, bud?
Who?
Is that a 9 that you rolled? Your
What are you trying
initiative?
to do?
Flash Art.
Yes, it is a 9, sir.
A 9. That's splendid.
9, or as the Germans say, no.
I watched, I don't know if you guys have ever seen this, but I watched Overlord with my kid today. Fantastic.
I think I love that movie.
World War II zombie movie. It's fantastic.
Okay, the B's are brackets. The first two are front brackets. The back two are back brackets.
Okay.
And then you do 1d20 plus your initiative dot your initiative bonus dot your initiative bonus. And the reason you do it that way,
Yeah, I've got that.
two people rolled 15. The
I've got
initiative
that, but
bonus.
what's the macro part that allows it to throw it to your character?
Oh, it didn't copy. Hold on a second. Why didn't it copy that? Okay, after your initiative stuff, it's space, the ampersand, open parentheses, tracker, close parentheses, and then the two close brackets.
Okay, ampersand, and what was it? Open parentheses?
Open parentheses, close parentheses.
And then bracket,
Oh.
bracket?
Let me see if this will work here.
You guys still there?
Yeah?
Sorry. Stupid gin.
Hello?
I feel so hydrated that I could run a 10K.
What'd you say, Chuck?
We can hear you, Chuck.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Chuck, can you hear us?
Gargano?
No, not the @ sign, the ampersand.
Ooh, okay.
Like the little weird figure 8, or like M and D,
Yeah.
ampersand.
The D and ampersand D.
Everybody's initiative in row?
And in the parentheses, you put the word tracker.
Okay. All right.
We ready?
Hello?
Hey there, I hear Chuck.
There you go.
Chuckaroo.
So that's what it looked like, but rather than squiggly brackets, it's regular brackets, and amp is just the ampersand. Yeah.
There's space between the
initiative and the ampersand, one space between those two.
Okay.
Oh, and it's not parentheses. The tracker is actually in brackets, not parentheses.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm sorry. My brain has stopped functioning.
I'm trying to see it, and it's just small.
Okay, I'll make that one in there.
All right, we playing or what?
Got mine working.
Yeah, go ahead and sort it.
We're doing a macro 101 class here. That's for you.
Great. I take a whiz, and you guys go into education mode. All right, my turn first. He's going to look across. So you look at these guys. They have 4 arms. They also have 4 eyes. These big sort of eyes that cover their weirdly oblong heads. And it looks at Storm, and a beam comes out of one of the eyes, a grayish brown beam that shoots at Storm and hits him. And I need a fortitude save, a DC 19 fortitude save from Storm.
Does not make it.
Oh no, this would be a petrification beam turned to stone. You see this beam hit him, hit Storm, and you see he begin to harden. As it passes through, you see Storm sort of moving.
Okay, when we kill it,
frozen in pace.
On Storm, he'll be fine.
Storm is petrified.
This thing can also cast petrification?
Apparently, yes. That's all he does. He's going to take a 5-foot step back this way. But Storm is petrified. And we're going to, how do we mark him to do that?
Well, you can actually just delete him. That technically kills him, and so she's gone.
To be resummoned, right?
No, not today. She's done.
Got
So you'd hear Eleanor call out, exclaim.
Ah! Is that what Eleanor says? Like, ah!
Unless you want to sort the initiative order so that 9 isn't before 13.
Oh, sorry. Jeez Louise. All right. Happy?
Yes. I delay.
Oh, fine. Is that why you wanted to do it?
Well, I want to see who's going to go win.
Only homos delay. All right. So, all right. So, Gatto, you're going to fill out. That's not true.
I'll let you know.
All right. All right. You're going to delay. Lothar's up then.
Okay,
Lothar, you just saw.
You said we've encountered this thing before.
Yeah, this is the thing that you guys encountered in the desert that came out of the gate and tried to capture Bardos and tried to take him back through the gate.
So we know what this is, yes?
Well, I don't know. I mean, it's the same kind of creature.
We did not defeat this guy last time.
No, we ran away. Well, we flew away.
Okay, so what knowledge check is it to determine what this thing is?
Knowledge planes, maybe?
Okay, so knowledge planes, 31.
31. So this is something called a retriever. Usually they come in the shape of a spider the size of an elephant, but in this case it's a biped with 4 arms and 4 eyes. This looks like something that was. Retrievers typically are constructed, which means it probably has construct abilities, construct traits. They're essentially creatures that are used to ensure that a particular task is carried out. They are very strong, very powerful task achievers, essentially.
So with a 31, do I know if it's considered an evil outsider? Well, first, do I know if is it evil? Is it an evil outsider? What's the specific?
It is evil extraplanar.
Evil extraplanar.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, hang on just a second. Let's see here.
I hear the hellhound's getting closer.
Oh, can you hear my dog? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's out there raising 10 kinds of hell, which means there's either a cat or a possum. Or she just likes to hear herself talk. So evil outsider, so does that make it an extraplanar creature?
It is.
Okay.
That's my brand.
25 plus 5. Okay, so $45. So I'm going to move to stop it. I'm going to move to here.
Okay.
And cast dismissal.
Okay. What's the saving throw on that?
19.
19. All right. That's a will save, right?
Probably will save.
Yeah, correct.
His will save is plus 5. He made it. So he shrugs off the spell.
Well, those are about our best chance.
It's not a bad idea, and it might work again. I mean, but it depends on how many dismissals he has. That's not a low-level spell.
No, and I have 2, so I can try it one more time, and then we're screwed.
All right. Well, it just blasted Storm out of existence. So, Bardos, you're up.
I'm going to cast Black Tentacles.
Ooh. I hate the spell. What is the, remind me of the radius?
20 foot.
$20-foot radius? Okay. Hold on a second. Where do you want to put it? Like right here kind of thing?
Exactly, yes.
Okay, perfect.
No, I'm going to put it, let's see.
I'm assuming something like this.
Yeah, maybe even a little more. I'm going to try to cover as much of the canyon opening as I can for the basilisks coming around the corner.
So like that?
Yeah.
All right, black tentacles. Let's see what happens next.
CMB grapple plus 13. So I got to roll that, right?
Yep. So for him, CMD. All right, now is this a trip attack or no?
Grapple.
It's just a grapple. Okay.
It's just.
So 18. That's it.
Yeah, that's it.
All right, he is not grappled. The tentacles come up behind him, but he just sort of like swats them away. And the magical nature of his body and the strength of his arms just sort of swats these tentacles away. We're going to keep the black tentacles stay, though, right?
Yeah, hang on. I don't. That just doesn't dispel. Let me see here. The grapple at the beginning of your turn. It looks like it doesn't affect them at all if they save. So
He just swats them away.
Yep.
Okay. All right. You gonna do anything else? You gonna move or anything?
Yeah, knowing that that thing was after me the last time, I guess I'm going to try to move away from it.
Okay. All right. You're gonna scooch across there to a point where you feel like you have some cover. Okay, perfect. Ilindar, you just saw Storm get sent back to wherever she's from. This thing petrified her and sent her back. And now he's looking at you.
Yep. So I'm casting a spell, touching Gato, and then moving.
Okay.
30. And Gato disappears.
Does Gato disappear or does Gato go invisible?
Goes invisible.
I like it. All right. Visible. All right.
For the next 8 rounds.
8 rounds. All right, cool. Let me see.
I go.
Beautiful. All right. Go for it.
That's-
So now is the point in which you want to go?
Yep.
All right. After you, sir. So you're invisible, but you're not sure if this guy sees you or not, frankly.
Well, we're going to find out. Move up, stab, move back using spring attack.
Okay. Well, I'm going to check something here. Okay. All right. You do not get any benefits to your armor class as you see him sort of swat your thing away, even though he seems to be looking in a different direction.
So he sees him?
So I do not.
It's almost as if he sees him, yeah. All right, so 25 to hit. That will hit. You do manage to get into him, and hold on, let me check and see if there's any damage reduction. There's not. So 21 points plus 4 bleed. So minus 21.
3 bleed.
3, sorry. I'm gonna put plus 3.
And as a free action, I yell, run.
Minus 3. To him?
Everybody.
Okay.
We are
All
not
right.
going to defeat this guy.
So you get in there. Is this greater invisibility, or are you now visible?
Well,
It's greater.
doesn't really
greater?
matter, does it?
Well, no. I mean, from your point of view, you're pretty sure he sees you because he swatted away.
Right.
I mean, even if he wasn't looking at you, you're not sure what it is. It's not true seeing. It's some
Maybe
other.
it's blind sense.
It's something. But he did not. You did not get the feeling like you were sneak attacking him as hard as you could have. Flash. It is your time, brother. Your time to take it to this creature. Bring out Radiance. Fight him. Get petrified.
You got to die if you do.
If it's evil, you smite evil, you got a good chance.
Yeah, I'm gonna smite him.
We think it's a construct.
It is a construct.
Yeah, but it
Please.
doesn't matter. Smiting evil.
You
works.
said it was evil, I thought, didn't you?
It's definitely evil.
Oh, okay.
So smite evil works.
Okay. That's at what point do I noticed what happened to Storm, right?
All you saw was that this thing shot some sort of beam out of its eye that hit Storm. Storm did something like this and then disappeared.
Started to freeze, and by the time it completely froze, it vanished.
All right, so I have shield up, and I guess a question is this you say shot a beam out of his eyes, doesn't mean I have to make eye contact, so he can still shoot me with said beam from wherever I am.
Sounds like, yeah. It's not like a Medusa where it's a gaze attack. I mean, it's more like he shot something at her.
All right, so let me add the old. Do we have any other buffs going?
All right, hold on a second. Range is reach is 15. So if you get that close, he's gonna be able to get attack of opportunity on you.
With a claw.
Yes, with a claw.
Well, I guess
Have you smited evil?
I'm about
Yes.
to smite evil, yeah.
So your armor class should be higher.
It's not gonna matter. 38 to hit.
Yes, 38
Yeah.
jerk.
2d6 plus. Oh wait, 19. He crits on claws from a 19 to 20, so I got to roll again. Will a 32 hit you?
Yes, a 32.
That is a
Let me
confirmed
talk
crit.
Excuse me. Let me talk to my attorney first. What is the smite or the detect or the smite evil? Was only +2 to armor class, right?
That was 4. Don's the one that should know that, though.
That's
What is it?
4.
What's the AC bonus from Smite and Evil?
Half your level, I think, or something like that. Let me check.
Yeah, half my level will keep me safe from
No, I thought it was just a couple, but
the second attack, I think, but the first attack now.
Kabonk! You got the kabonkerizer, brother. I love it. I love it.
I'm about to fly into the cheap seats here. If to attack my level, the 32 will not hit, but that's why it's a definitive moment here.
Oh, is that what you guys are
actually,
figuring out?
the AC goes up by your charisma modifier.
So AC so it's still gonna hit anything above. Yeah.
Yeah.
You take it up to 31, but not to a 32. All right.
Okay, so
Do your work.
that is it still a confirmed crit?
Yes.
All right. It is blown back. Max
No one's more
damage,
surprised than
knocked
Flashheart.
prone. Huh?
I said no one's more surprised than Flashheart than getting critted.
So he's knocked back another 5 feet. Max damage and knocked prone. So you are prone now. As you get close to this thing, it's just like whacked out with its claw. It's like bam, just hit you. Max damage is going to be 2d6 is 12 plus 6 is 18 points of regular damage. 18 points as it swats you away.
I should update this actually.
And so I don't think you get an attack if you're swatted and knocked prone.
Well, it's still his turn. He can stand up, and the guy's already taken an attack of opportunity, so you wouldn't get another one. Unless
True, you would not get another one. Unless he has, hold on.
Combat reflex.
Wait, he has lightning reflexes.
Nope. That's plus to your reflex saves.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Here we go. Hold on. Shit. All right, he doesn't.
So Flashheart, stand up and run away.
All right.
No, stand up and fight, dude. Come on.
Bravely run away.
If we had Fletcher here, I'd say go after him, but
Well, I expected a large Fletcher to be pulling his limbs off right about now, but
So you're gonna scoot?
Les, stand him up.
on advice from my attorney, I have decided to fight it to live
All
to
right.
fight another day.
Okay. Hold on a second. Basilisk moves at a speed 20. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4. It rolls right into the black tentacles. It's the DC 19.
Yeah.
That's a reflex save, right?
Reflex save, DC 19 for the black tentacles.
It's got +4.
It's the CMB grapple thing, +13.
Oh, it's a grapple. Okay. Go ahead and roll it. Let me look at what the CMD is, or the CMD here is. Yeah, so 19. You got to beat a 19.
Is this our last round, Les?
Yeah, it is.
yeah.
God.
Did not beat it. So it continues to walk 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And it's the gaze here. 30 feet. Oh, not quite. All right. So it doesn't get a gaze attack on anybody, but it's definitely looking at Flashheart. Flashheart, you see this 8-legged lizard come around the corner, and it's definitely looking at you, and then you're just like, whoa, whoa, what am I doing?
Isn't it in the corner? Isn't the pink the wall?
Huh?
Isn't that pink line the wall?
Oh, yeah, that's right. It came around this way, so it's over here. Hold on. There we go. All right. It's trying, but it does not get you. And that is, it's 10:58. Do you guys want to do another round?
No.
No,
Sure.
we want everybody here next time.
I want to live another week or two.
Come on. No, I think we're on the verge of something really fun.
No.
All right.
TPK
All right.
at midnight. That's not where I want to end it.
All right. We'll stop here. And then next time we play, in 2 weeks, when we play A-Team again, we will start at this point at the top of the order, which will be my guy and then Lothar.
What next week is it C team or B team?
Next week is C-Team. We're back in space.
Okay.
Lots of stuff going to be. There's going to be several emails coming to you guys very quickly about that.
Okay.
What about
If you want to talk to me a couple things, Lester, let me know when you're trying to talk.
All right. Well, if anybody needs to talk to me, we can stay on a little bit. I'll cut the mic so that we're not recorded. I'll just go ahead and do that right now. And then if anybody wants to hang out and ask me questions, I will be.
Okay.